So what percentage aren't you Irish?
Yeah, there's a
What
small
percentage
snippet.
of Irish are you?
I don't remember. I got the paperwork in my thing with the whole
I'm
thing.
I'm Welsh.
Wow. Damn.
I am 2% Welsh.
Wow. That's kind of the same Irish, like roughly around that.
Yeah,
Roughly around that.
I'm 2% Welsh, and there was something else. Oh, and I'm 3% England and Northwestern Europe. It doesn't really say what specifically.
Gee, I wonder how that got there.
I know, right? And 1% indigenous. Well,
Here?
Mexico.
Oh, Mexico. Okay.
Mexico. What up, McKenna?
What up, McKenna?
Yeah, it just says Mexico. The rest of that shit, the other 94%. I'm black, y'all. I'm black, yo. Yo,
Negroes.
Cameroon, Congo,
Of course,
Coast,
Cameroon.
Ghana, Nigeria.
What up, Nessa?
What up,
Hey,
Nessa?
Biddy.
Nigeria, Mali, Senegal, Benin, and Togo, and Bantu.
Yes.
Western and Southern.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. I knew Cameroon was going to jump up in there, but that's all the Upper Guinea region, which is same place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's when they snatched a bunch of niggas from there.
Right.
You know.
My highest. Yeah, that's my highest. Cameroon, Congo, and Western Bantu. 27%.
And Cameroon is beautiful. And my homie, Fidi, she's from Cameroon. She just went back home because she was living in the UK. She just went back home maybe last week.
Why are you on the goddamn? Why are you on the podcast? This thing is in Thailand.
And
why
shit.
are you? Oh my god,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's crazy. I'm black. I'm black as fuck.
Yeah,
so it's funny because Chrissy had long ago did her. I just did mine like the last 2 months or so.
Yeah, I did mine over 11 years ago. Yeah,
she's like 20-something% white. So we were always making this joke about like she was like, I bet you like only like 10% white.
That was ass.
She was joke because pro black blah blah.
Right.
So she got me the test, and when it came back, I'm like, oh no, you said 10%. No, I'm only 5% white.
Try 5. Try 5.
Oh, she was so upset. So upset.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. That really is.
Let's get started because
we got stuff.
Nigga.
All right. Let's do this intro. Me. Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SPJ. And I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective. Facts indeed. Now, we weren't here last week.
We were not.
So there is, I'm sure where SPJ has a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Whole bunch. And it's probably going to be more than mine. So I'm going to get mine out the way first. Couple of things, though, because I really only have one big rant. But I want to officially put it on the show that happy birthday, even though it's a week late.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
I wasn't on the show because of that.
Exactly.
To my wife.
Absolutely.
Previous birthday.
Absolutely.
Dope day. Dope, very dope day. Birthdays are dope around here. They just are.
I mean,
I didn't grow up with that. So,
but when you're in a good situation.
Yeah, that's true.
In more than one way is good.
Absolutely.
then you had that type of thing.
100%. 100%. The other thing I want to do is say rest in peace, Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah.
And I saw a post from Cindy, and she said, imagine the reason you become one of the most reviled people of your time being because you called out the cover-up of child abuse.
Yep.
It didn't make sense then, and it damn sure doesn't now. Here,
I'd like to push back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It does make sense.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I get it.
I get it.
Yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because I saw someone else mention this person is in those circles, those music circles, and knew her. And he said, you know, I see a lot of tributes to Sinead O'Connor. I see a lot of people saying rest in peace. People who met her, right? People who knew her. Where were you when she called for you? Because she did call for there's video of where she was standing at this place looked horrible, right? And you could tell she clearly needed help, right? And if you know anything about her past and how she grew up, you know that there was trauma there, a lot of trauma there. And the fact that she stood up for the powerless and they made her pay for it is really shouldn't be nothing surprising because that's what typically happens.
Oh, yeah. They're called martyrs for a reason.
They're called martyrs for a reason. Some people had started referring to her as unhinged, and I'm sure at a certain point in her life, she did get that way. But let me remind you, not a year or so ago, she lost her 17-year-old son, killed himself. So she went through quite a bit of shit.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that on this show, we respect Sinead O'Connor.
Oh, thanks.
Respect the stuff that she was going through.
Yeah.
The stuff that she said when she ripped up the Pope's picture on SNL. Because the truth of the matter is, and the thing is, it was easy for me to say that back then because I was a Muslim. Right. And part of that was rival stuff, right? But it still was the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Part of that was rival stuff.
You
know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like the Catholic Church is a criminal organization. Facts. And it became a criminal organization. They've been a criminal organization for a long time, but specifically in modern times because you had priests being pedophiles and abusing children, and instead of you doing what any other corporation or job would have done when somebody got jammed up in that, fired their ass, get them the fuck up out of there, call the police on them, whatever, you move them to another parish. Yeah. To give them another chance to abuse more children. And they were pissed at her when she did that shit. Exposing something that nearly everybody now acknowledges.
Right. Oh, it's so commonplace that no one even gets shocked anymore when it's mentioned.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody gets shocked.
It's become like, it's not a funny thing, but it's become a joke.
Yeah.
It's become a punchline. Like,
yeah. And the fact that these folks canceled her for that, this is the true sense of cancel, by the way. Where they just all doors are closed to you. All doors are closed, right? Some of those people that did that are some of the same people now railing against canceling.
Oh, 100%.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. What's good for me is not good for thee. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's that sort of thing. So once again, rest in peace to Sinead O'Connor.
Thanks.
I wish more people had looked out for her. Chris Christopherson did, though. So I'm gonna give him, I'm gonna shout him out. You know what I'm saying? I always like Chris Christopherson too. So yeah, that was good to hear that, right? He absolutely did. But some of you other motherfuckers, yeah, all right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all right. And towards my week, That motherfucking cat lost his mind.
The cat catted?
Did he? No cat has ever catted the way this cat catted. So it's late.
No cat has ever kit.
Kit. That is.
There we go.
Yes. There you go. So it was late. And for a couple of nights in a long time, I actually was able to go to bed at a regular time. Now, it doesn't help me because I wound up still getting up at 3.
Oh, sure.
You know what I'm saying? But still, you know what I'm saying? I'm asleep. Wifey sleep. Now, my daughter, sometimes she works late. So she's up. She's in here. She hears a scream. Goes to investigate, and what she finds is one of my wife's hamsters in this cat's mouth. What he did was found a way to push aside the little top covering piece, got in there, found him, and took him out to do what cats did.
Right.
My daughter tried to get, but couldn't. But the hamster did get out of his mouth because I guess he was scared when Sharon yelled. He was the cat was scared and dropped him. Of course, the hamster trying to run. She comes in and gets us. We come up here, grab the cat. Yetta gets the hamster. All of this. The hamster's ear got damaged.
God damn it.
Yeah, blood coming from out the ear and all of that. And we took the cat and put his ass upstairs and closed the door. So for the past week, he has not been allowed to be down here at night until we get this new covering piece on top of the thing where he can't get in.
Right.
But it didn't stop there.
Oh, God.
Because once he's upstairs, he feels as though it's playtime. Everybody sleep. So apparently he went on a destructive spree. Running on top of stuff, knocking stuff down, stealing stuff, because my grandmother told me years before I had any personal experience with cats as pets, cats steal.
Oh, thanks.
Now, my wife said she's never had one that stole before until this current crop. I said, Cap, I say, because JB would steal chicken. If you put a chicken bone in the trash can and didn't cover the thing he goes, oh shit. If you leave it on the table and walk away, he's gonna steal that. You know. I was thinking that too, Discord. I was thinking that too. But the thing is, here's the issue. I was always worried about that because hamsters are too close to mice.
Right.
And we want the cats to take that position against mice. But it could be confusing.
Well,
we don't
hold
have
on though. To be fair, that wasn't necessarily the same position that a cat would necessarily take against a mouse because the hamster lived.
That's true, but I think the only reason the hamster lived is because Siobhan caught it at the time. Because I've seen what he was going to play with it.
I have no doubt that eventually, up to his own devices,
he's going to kill it.
Right.
Because cats play with that. They play, literally the whole play with your food thing. That's cats.
Yeah, facts.
I've seen T'Challa do it. It's not pretty. You know what I'm saying? I know the cats look up to you with these little kitty eyes and looks in there. They killers. Yeah. They flat out killers. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it was a traumatic situation for the hamster, for Ayetta. And she wound up taking the cat to the vet. You know what I'm saying? The vet looked at it. Wound was superficial, thankfully. Gave it some antibiotics though, because the saliva of the cat could, cause infection and all that other shit. But hamster seems to be doing fine now.
Okay.
Seems to be doing fine. Speaking of that, my wife also started a pet grooming service for small animals, like rabbits and ferrets and all that other stuff. Because that's what she does. That's what she was doing. Starting businesses. That's what she was doing before I met her. You know what I'm saying? That's what she does. I had to go last Sunday and take video of her grooming a bunny. And I think I'm supposed to do it again tomorrow, but also I plan on getting better pictures because I asked, do you want me to take the pictures with big boy camera or with your phone? Because I'm thinking in terms of her and her social media stuff, that she might want access to it so she can just upload it real quick, So she did say the phone, but then Eileen was there, and she took some with her phone. Her settings weren't what it was. So them pictures came out very small, and the resolution wasn't it. You know what I'm saying? So I know this time
hot ass juice.
Yes. We got to take it with the camera. Like that I'm like, we're not doing that.
Right.
And finally,
you broke it.
There are a lot of things I see people doing online that I will never understand. Never. Especially like in the content creating space. There are a million podcasts. And for the most part, the general ones that aren't specific to certain themes, they cover the same shit.
Yeah, for the most part.
They might have a different take every now and then from the other podcasts or whatever. But the news is the news. What's in pop culture is what's in pop culture. What's algorithmic pleasing, you know what I'm saying? People are going to use that because it kind of makes sense for them to do.
Oh, yeah.
Just like there are a million live streams, and every live stream is not a podcast.
Yeah.
That's not true. You know what I'm saying? Every live stream is not a podcast. And they talk about similar things. Sometimes they're streaming their games or whatever. But either way, when you're in that content space, you're trying to create a brand for yourself.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of toxic, problematic stories that are out there in the ether. Why? Because we live in a toxic, problematic world.
Yo.
How you as a content creator deal with that is very important.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you why. Because your commentary on these things could be the difference between you gaining credibility and authenticity or becoming splashed with the bad bullshit that the person who may have done something that was ass or was accused of something ass did. Because that's how algorithms work.
Facts.
You talk about it. When the subject is searched, your shit comes up. That's how it works. And that's why I'm always super, super, super careful.
Yeah.
About the things that I choose to talk about. There was a time when on my Facebook page, I had a running commentary about things.
Right.
I stopped doing that as much for a couple of reasons. One, ain't shit I'm going to say that's going to change the world, unfortunately. It's not. Two, I realized, man, you got to weaponize that. So do it on the podcast.
Hey.
do it on the podcast, right? And also because there's some shitty people out here that have gained notoriety.
Right.
Absolutely shitty. And I see there is a segment, and I don't know when this exactly started, but I know it was a time when it wasn't quite as bad as it is now. where people feel the need, for whatever reason, to be somewhat defensive of some of the people that are accused of some of the worst shit ever.
Oh, yeah.
Now, my take on that is really simple. I don't know these people intimately. I don't know the situation intimately. So if it's still up in the air and it's still something that's an accusation, but if it's something that is not out the realm of possibility, all right, motherfuckers do this shit, then yes, I will always put the caveat allegedly on there.
Right.
I see no reason to defend shit.
Bruh.
Like,
it's so funny that you say this because that we gonna talk about it
okay.
later.
Okay. Like, I'm not the.
What up, Stella?
Let me tell you something. My circle is my circle. These is my family and my friends that are also family.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Facts.
Them I can speak for. Them I'm gonna go, nah. Right. And if I think it's even suspicious, we gonna have that talk.
Mm-hmm.
Come take that walk with me. We gonna have that talk. But these other motherfuckers who I don't know, and a lot of these people are, unfortunately, very wealthy people.
Mm-hmm.
I have no dog in that fight.
Right.
If your ass is out there doing what you do, and you wind up getting accused of some fuck shit, and you're one of these multi-million, you never had to work again, never had to worry about this, never had to worry about that type motherfuckers, that shit ain't my business.
Nah.
To run defensive lineman for your ass.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. It has nothing to do with me.
Nope.
But we're going to talk about it.
Oh, absolutely.
We're always going to talk about it with the word allegedly.
Until that shit get proven.
Until that shit gets proven. and we will absolutely contort that for us to be able to talk shit by saying, if he did this, or if she did this,
absolutely.
you're a piece of shit. We will 100% do that.
Yeah. But now, to add a bit of an amendment to that, if there's too much smoke,
bro,
you might not hear the allegedly.
Yeah, that's fact.
We didn't do allegedly with our.
I'm glad you brought that up, bro, because it's dependent upon it's dependent upon the body of evidence before you got officially accused. Right?
Mountain of evidence.
Yeah, like it's a come on, bro. So that's why I'm saying I don't want the splashback that comes with defending one of these motherfuckers that come on my brand, because the moment the name is searched, my shit comes up, and then when they check it out, I'm up here what? Yeah. A caping for him? What?
Don't do that.
Some of y'all have these other issues with certain things that are happening in our society that you don't like, you don't agree with. And you'll use these things from some of these toxic people as a proxy for your grievance about that certain thing. I implore you, don't.
Yeah.
Talk about that subject. Don't think you need to defend this, whatever that is, simply because it might somehow fall into a wheelhouse of a grievance that you no. I don't know what that motherfucker did.
Correct.
I don't, and it's gonna look real crazy when the paperwork come out, and he looking kind of shaky, baby. So no, I can't be your hero. You know what I'm saying? I can't, and I'm not. If you out here in these streets fucking up, and the word reaches our royal ear over here, you are suspected of it. And you will not see me going out of my way to jump in front of the bullet like I'm Superman to protect your ass, to say nice things. And wait a minute, folks.
The closest you're going to get from me is, damn, I can't believe.
Right. Right. Nah, I'm not doing it. Y'all can do what you want. All right? Y'all can do what you want. I'm not doing it. And I like to think somebody like as myself that has kind of been public, a lot of opinions through music, all this other stuff. You notice you never see me caught up in the bullshit.
Yeah.
You've never, because for a lot of reasons, and also the fact that, you know, I don't stick my whole head out, you know what I'm saying, for the guillotine to go, whoop.
Right.
You too. Whoop. Nope. It ain't the Me Too movement.
Mm-mm.
It's the YouTube movement.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Not catching me in that. Nah.
Not involved. Wouldn't be prudent.
I've done way too much content. Spoke on a lot of things, controversial things, and all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice you never get any paperwork out about the kid.
Right.
I'm always honest about my past. I've not always been the nicest guy. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
I was younger. I was on some bullshit. Most of the people that found, they know of this, or they have heard of this. I'm not hiding it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hiding it. But since I have been like a father,
right,
specifically right around that time, nah, B, I don't be out here just willy-nilly breaking the motherfucking laws. That shit ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? But I'm very honest. I'll never forget a little while ago in one of the Facebook groups, the GU Facebook groups, just years ago, somebody mentioned something about, hey, man, maybe we ought to be doing background checks on the people that come up in here, because there was an incident that took place with this scam artist that made it inside GU.
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't have a problem with. The problem came with what was said after that. We can't be letting people with criminal backgrounds come up in here. I said, point of order, sir. I say, because two of those popular people in this, arguably founded this,
right?
A criminal records, grading to myself,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So
that's a sticky wicket.
Yeah, we didn't all start the same places.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Graydon started in Compton.
I
started in Baltimore.
I can tell you what that is. I can't say on the podcast.
Right. Yeah. Like, nah, it's not that. It's about what did you do?
Mm-hmm.
What did
you do then, and what have you done since,
and why? Exactly. So yeah, man, y'all do what you want to do, but my suggestion is, man, if you plan on being a content person that relies on the algorithm, when people search for people to find your shit, and be careful what you out there defending, because it can get ugly for you.
I mean, that's
that's my time. That's my time. Thank you for my TED Talk. What up, Stella?
Oh God! All right, so this episode is probably going to be a little bit of a longer one.
Yo, I can't with
that's funny. This episode is probably going to be a little bit of a longer one. It's titled Family Summit, because I appreciate y'all for reaching out, but on this day, we got some shit to speak about. A lot of what we're going to talk about are pleas from me and Tim. So the get the bullshit out of the way. This past week wasn't much out of the ordinary. It actually was, but it would take way too long to go into all that.
Right.
I went to work, worked on content, spent some time with Chrissy, just the normal shit.
Right.
There was a work thing where one of the departments in the downtown office was having issues since the previous week, but nobody made any moves to get it fixed. That's despite the fact that the supervisor of that department comes into my department literally every morning at least. Nothing done to get the problem fixed. All right, that was one thing. There's another work thing with this problem that's been going on for months that we absolutely do know about, and the reason it's been going on for months is because my people don't like my solution. So I hadn't done it.
That's understandable.
the issue just lingers. The manager at that location called me yesterday talking about her agent can't do any work. Mm-hmm. Now, I normally don't let people at work just complain and complain and complain. But in this instance, she was warranted. Until she did this one thing that people try to do. She said something to the effect of, it's crazy how this problem keeps happening, but if it was the other office, everybody just jumps to fix it.
Oh my.
Implying that there is some favoritism of some kind. Now, obviously, because of how I set this up, you know that this isn't true. But what makes this particularly egregious is she's one of the managers at the other office that she's talking about. So she knows that this is not true. Mm-hmm. She's literally had issues that took a while to fix. As a matter of fact, she currently has an equipment request pending. That's been pending.
Wow.
For at least a month.
Wow.
So, ma'am.
Miss Ma'am.
You know, like, it'd be one thing if it was some other manager that was not at this blah, 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 blah. You work at the office that you're talking about gets preferential treatment, and you haven't been getting preferential treatment there. So what are you talking?
What are you going on about?
Anyway, these are just the quick hits. Next, there was this work vacation / thing where my one coworker that dropped out of the upcoming trip for unknown reasons was crying to me about wanting to go to the beach.
Go damn.
Man, the trip is to Myrtle Beach. I actually successfully resisted the urge to be petty in that scenario.
Wow.
Because I could have.
Yes.
But I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. But like I said, we missed last week. That's where most of my personal topics are from.
Right.
Tim mentioned part of the reason why we missed last week is because he had his birthday. Mm-hmm. What up, Cindy? And
hey, what's up, sis?
The other reason is because of this goddamn cookout. Strap in, y'all.
Oh, shit. You know what's funny about you about to talk about a cookout? I watched the Country Wayne skits. Mm-hmm. He just did a cookout one too, and it was ass.
So,
shit.
Told y'all a few weeks ago about this event that was being planned for my family. That is what it was last week. Like last weekend. It was a part of the reason we didn't do the show. I think the last part I told y'all was my cousins were trying to do this through group text and how terrible of an idea that was. Mm-hmm. So short recap for context. A while ago, we started doing this thing called A Family Affair. It's effectively a family reunion on steroids. Right. Two people who really started it, my mother and her cousin Rita. This is a historically huge event. Right. They both have their closer families, then they both have spouses, and then there's an extended family of the two of them that they share, and then friends are included as well. It's a whole thing. Right. To give just an idea of how many people this potentially consists of, my great-grandmother had 5 children.
Oh, wow.
My grandparents had 7. So that's just, you can extrapolate from there. We got family in Florida, New York, New Jersey, Georgia, Ohio, probably other places. Mm-hmm. If you only include the people who descended of my grandparents and their spouses and spouses' family that rock with my family, that is well over 70 people.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
We haven't done one in 4 years because of the pandemic. My mother has been a stalwart in planning things for my family just in general as long as I can remember.
Right.
For this one, we wanted to take the weight off of her. Also, my cousin who normally does this with her passed away earlier this year. That's really all the necessary backstory. So, days after I told y'all on here how terrible the planning was going, I've realized I had to tell my mother.
Right.
Because if I didn't, I foresaw this not happening this year, and I wanted it to happen this year. It's been 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
I told her point blank, the way that it was going was not going to work. And the people trying to do the planning had no clue what they were doing.
Yo, can I ask you a question about the planning part of this?
Yeah.
So, Is that a thing that runs in the family right there?
Hold up. I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
Fab said facts. Always a good time with the Davis family. I'm still mad I didn't make it this year. You know, mom reached out to me. I know. It's going to be again next year. So I'm going to get to that. So
get into that.
Nick. Anyway. So the reason I didn't say this directly to the people who are planning is because I knew that if I did, especially at that point in time,
yes,
it would have ended up being all on me,
right,
to plan. The other reason is she has a higher tolerance for foolishness than I do. So she was the better person to deliver that message.
Got you.
The communication went from group text to a Facebook event, which is actually the way that we've done it in the past. And they stopped trying to involve everybody in the planning, which was good. Because that group text had 13 people in it. 13 people cannot have a say in a thing like this. Like I always say, you can't give a bunch of monkeys options. You can't. It's not going to work. It doesn't work. So my one cousin calls me and asks if I would be one of the hosts just for communication's sake. I knew I would end up doing more than that. But since my mother was now involved, I jumped in to make sure that that too much wasn't falling on her lap.
Absolutely.
I was largely out of it up until about a week and a half before the event. These niggas was tripping. And by these niggas, I'm referring to quite a few of the non-planning invitees.
That's how it always is, B.
Bruh.
That's how it always is.
Mind you, when we first started talking about doing this, the first order of business was to reserve the park. Again, there were 13 of us in this group text. The price for the reservation was around $250,000, I think.
Okay.
I put up 50. That left $200 to be split by like 10 people because two of the people were my mother and my uncle who were not supposed to be doing anything. If I'm not mistaken, my cousin, who ended up being one of the hosts, ended up paying the majority of the remainder of that deposit. Interesting. Then we get to the week of the event. My other cousin, who was hosting, popped in the group chat. Group chat. Notice I said group chat. This is me, my two cousins, and my mother. Right. Group chat said we needed to do a Zoom call the next night. That's all right. Cool.
But the question is, who's Zooming who?
Shut up. The call was just to make sure everybody was on the same page about where we were. First of all, at the time of the meeting, which was again the week of the event, right? At the time of the meeting, the event had 44 people who confirmed that they were going.
Oh wow!
Again, this is 4 days before the event. Remember how I told y'all that just my grandparents' descendants was like 50 people, not including spouses and stuff like that. That included children. So it's closer to like 30 who are actually fully adults. But also remember, that doesn't include spouses and their families. That doesn't include my further extended family. That doesn't include friends. 44 confirmations 4 days before the event is super nasty work.
Yeah.
Because we know it's not going to just be 44 people. So you're not following instructions. All right, cool. So a part of the issue was people not doing what they were fucking supposed to do. There were some people who had confirmed with one of the four of us, but never clicked on the event that they were going. So by the time that we went through all of that, between the four of us, we checked those people as going on the event, and we were at like 60 something. All right, that's a little better because again, this is only the adults. So that's a little bit better. Right. Now, there were two factors that weren't necessarily on the people. One, everybody doesn't either have or use Facebook like that. Right. All right, cool. Two, Facebook has seemingly changed the way that events work. The communication isn't as seamless as it has been in the past.
No, it has. No, it's not. No, it's not.
But you know,
I've used it recently. Well, somebody else used it, and I was
but you know, I could only let humans talk for so long. Right. Another issue was that people who were invited had invited people on the event page without letting us know.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So the issue wasn't just who's going. It was also, what are you contributing?
Right.
A lot of people were iffy on that. By the time we got off that first video call and I had heard all the shenanigans.
The shenanigans?
Yeah, the shenanigans. We were talking about a message. We were trying to figure out a message to put up on the event page to everybody to basically, get y'all shit together because it's 4 days left until the event. Right. Here's one of the things we got wrong as far as planning is concerned, to an extent. Mm-hmm. Me and the two cousins who were doing this should never have been in charge together. The biggest reason is that the vast majority of these people who were invited don't really know us. So I can understand, even though we're adults and y'all have been to this event before, most of you, so you don't really have too many excuses, but I can give you, maybe you didn't feel comfortable reaching out to one of us. Right, okay. Right. All right, fine. So even though, like I said, they should have, because that's what the fuck they were told to do, they didn't really reach out to the three of us like they should have. I heard from 4 people total. Me personally, I heard from 4 people total. That was Chrissy, Marcus, Aaron, and just Chris. Those are the 4 people that I heard from.
Right.
Another reason is that these two cousins don't always work the best with each other. Mm-hmm. They are siblings, and there's an entire history that we don't have time for, and some that I don't even know about. Yeah. I get it. The last reason is that none of us really respond in the most palatable way to tomfoolery. Mm-hmm. The 3 of us are relatively similar in that way. We don't really got the time for the bullshit. Like, it's not really, so because of that last part, while we were on this first Zoom call, and we were having a back and forth in the meeting about who should make the post, my female cousin said it should be my mother. And in general, that was probably the right choice. But then my male cousin rightfully said no, because my mother wasn't really supposed to be doing anything.
Right.
He was right. At that moment, I started typing while they were still going back and forth. When I say I had typed the post already to them and was about to hit the button, my mother cut me off and yelled, no, because my mother knows me. My mother knows me. Like, funny enough, matter of fact, a quick tangent, because I'm pretty sure, because she sent me a screenshot the other day. I'm pretty sure that this is all that was going through her mind. Mm-hmm. Real quick. Pretty sure this is what was going through her mind. This was not about a family affair. This was about, actually, it might have been about a family affair. It might have been about, it was about a family affair. This post from 2014 she sent me a screenshot of this. I said, so to all who may or may not be coming tomorrow, it makes no sense for my mother to have to beg or even continuously reiterate that contributions are needed. Yeah. As much as she does / has done for so many people, whether it be as drastic as loaning, in parentheses, giving money, or as simple as you showing up at one of her previous events empty-handed, she really shouldn't even have to ask. I'm not naming any names. You know who you are. If you feel some type of way, it's your own guilty conscience. No, I'm not talking about everyone, just those that have to be harassed. Right. That being said, have a blessed day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. So she had sent me that. I'm pretty sure that's what was going through her mind when I said I had typed it. But no, not quite. Not quite. So yeah, she yells no. I wasn't going to hit the button until I read it to. Because this is a group effort. That was me. That wasn't on no event page. That was me on my regular page, fussing these niggas out because they were stressing my mom out. Right. That's different. Right. It's different. This time I'm a part of the actual planning committee. I'm not going to do that. Right. Well, this is what I came up with. We have about 4 days left. There are quite a few people who we have not heard from. There are quite a few people who have said they are coming, but have not mentioned what they are contributing.
Right.
We need to hear from you if you plan to attend. For those who invited others, please find out their contribution and report back. Please either respond under this post or get in contact with one of us at your earliest convenience. If we do not hear from you, we do not expect to see you.
Okay.
So,
okay.
They was like, oh, okay, cool. Hi, my mother's on here.
I
see. So that post got some people to act right. Okay, because realistically, everybody's not going to act right. That's just just the nature of this type of thing.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, with the Facebook events being different than they used to be, I'm sure everybody didn't even see that post.
Yeah, facts.
Because right after I got sent, right after I hit the send button on that, I got off the Zoom call. I text Chrissy like,
"Good morning."
Get a notification.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm like, did you just get a notification? She was like, no, but it is the first post that Facebook shows me when I open up Facebook.
Right.
I said, okay, so that means that some people are definitely going to see it, and some people did. Like I said, some people got that got them to act a little right. The next day.
What up, Bowflex?
I was talking to Aaron. What up, Bowflex? Next day, I was talking to Aaron, and when we get off the phone, he says to me that he will send me the $30 for him and his wife next week.
Awesome.
For y'all who don't know, I played a decent part in raising Aaron, so it's my instinct to take care of him, right?
Right.
Because the money wasn't due this week; the money was due last week. Right. But he got like 5 kids, so
yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
You ain't even got to put it like this. He said it to me. His mother was one of the people who was playing. He didn't say it to his mother. He said it to me. Yo, I got you next week. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
it.
Yeah. But then I got off the phone and thought about it. $30. This was the first time I was hearing that we were asking for $15 per adult. Let's do the math. Let's just say 100 adults that we're going, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's $1,500. The park was $250.
Yeah.
So we have $1,250 left. Okay. A good portion of the adults in my family drink alcohol. The liquor permit was $35. So we got $1,215 left.
Right.
80 hamburgers from Sam's Club cost like $75. That's still, remember I said 100 adults.
Yeah.
That's not mentioning the children.
Facts.
80 hamburgers ain't going to do it.
No, nigga, no.
That's $75. So now we got $1,140. I spent like $115 on like 86 hot dogs and a couple of packs of sausages. Notice again, neither of those products was a count of 100.
No.
And we still haven't taken into account that there will be children.
Right.
A good percentage of the people who do have children have more than one.
And all of them are going to want to eat.
Bro, it's in the name. It's a cookout.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of, okay.
Yeah. Especially if it's going to be hot. Ain't nobody out there when it's hot not trying to eat something. That's not happening.
So wrapping this part up, we are about $1,000 left. Okay. We have the park reserved. We have a liquor permit with no liquor. Mm-hmm. We have hamburgers and hot dogs, but not enough for them to cook. Right. Yeah, and nothing to cook them with at that point, because I just mentioned everything that money had. Okay, we still need charcoal, lighter fluid, cups, plates, paper towels, napkins, ribs, chicken, condiments, the alcohol, juices, sodas, waters, so forth, so on. I left out some staples of black cookouts. There's still potato salad, mac and cheese. It keeps going, right?
It does. It really does.
So
cards for spades,
bro. Listen. So that was the thing, but that was partially on the fault of us as planners. Mm-hmm. My cousins for allowing that to be the case, and me for not checking.
Okay.
But I say partially because that's not exactly what the rule was. The rule was a contribution.
Oh, you're right, Fabo. Domino's too.
The rule was a contribution or a minimum of $15 per adult.
Right.
Which then puts it back on the guests, because some of them weren't even following that lenient ass rule. You had people trying to pay only $15 for a family of 4.
That's crazy talk.
Okay. But we don't talk about the bad without talking about the good. Shout out all the people who actually behaved as if they understood the assignment and those who went above and beyond. There were people who had RSVP that they would not be able to make it that still contributed.
Right.
And tried
you
to
gotta
contribute.
love those people.
Bruh!
Because we had a similar situation with the Celestial War event them years ago. There were people from outside of the states, as far as Australia, who knew they wasn't going to be able to get to the show, but they just wanted to support it. And they said, whatever the perks are, give it to somebody that's there. You gotta love these type of people. Bro.
Absolutely. It's salt of the earth.
Yeah.
So there were people who RSVP'd that they would not be coming and still contributed. There were some that did that and tried to contribute. For the ones who tried to, we rejected because at that point we had just made it do what it do. Like,
right.
Remember that $115 I spent? So I shouldn't have had to contribute a dime. And we'll get to why. We'll get to why later. Special shout out to Just Chris, to Marcus, to Chrissy. Just Chris had signed up early to contribute hamburgers and hot dogs. And all these grown-ass adults didn't think to also contribute those things for a cookout. So he sent $100. And after he saw the drama, he offered to do more. Chrissy and Marcus constantly asked me if there was anything else needed on top of them contributing items.
Right.
Especially Chrissy. I had to yell at her to get her to stop trying to spend more of her money. This ain't Marcus and Chrissy family.
Right, right.
So all the love to those two. But I can't bring up Marcus on the show without poking at him. This nigga. So I often say I have the best memory among a group of people with bad memories.
That's a dubious distinction there.
Bruh, right? In no way is it more obvious than with Marcus, though. So the other day, Chrissy and I were talking about the cookout. She was telling me that Marcus told her he has to remember to tell everybody that's going on the trip how much the rental car costs and how he hates how bad his memory is because he keeps forgetting to say something. Right? So Marcus, Fab, you're an asshole. So Marcus says that to Chrissy. And where is it? Okay. Marcus says that to Chrissy. Chrissy tells me that he said that. Here's the thing though.
Okay.
Marcus had that same exact conversation with me a week prior.
Interesting.
And in that conversation, I reminded him of what I'm about to share with you guys from the screenshot. June 28th, Marcus, good morning all. I need to confirm a head count so I can reserve the car for Myrtle Beach. I said, it's 5 of us. He said, okay, rental is $95 a piece, not due until we get there. Pay when we pick up the car. Sir, you told us a month ago.
Yeah.
And then last week you told me that you had to remember to tell us. And then this week you told Chrissy that you had to remember to tell us. All right. Okay. Yeah. So the next thing that happened is my mom and my cousins went about confirming everything the people said they were bringing. The event was Saturday. On Thursday and Friday, we had people who had previously committed to bringing dishes and items now say they wanted to just send the $15. So I'm sitting at my mother's house.
Geez.
We're preparing some of the food for the next day. And my stepfather overhears us fussing. He's like me in that way. He don't play that.
Right.
So we are talking about that. The next thing I know, my mother starts getting a bit quiet. I finally notice she isn't in the conversation anymore, and I look over to her. She has her phone in her hand, and there is a wall of text.
Oh, shoot.
I could tell she didn't want to, but this is what she posted. Some of y'all saw it.
I saw it.
She said, evening, folks. Reminder, those contributing money, we were asking for a minimum of $15 per adult. that is 18 years and older. Not $15 for 2 adults, 3 children, your cousin, and adult neighbor. There are also
and your dog named Sue.
there are also several who said they were bringing a party-sized serving for their household, but now choosing to give us $15 for them and the 6 adults. Yes.
Bro.
If we're planning to have at least 100 adults attend and eat at least 4 meals, because we can eat, but only get $200 cash and 5 people bringing a dish, how much eating and or drinking will we be able to do in 6 hours? Not much. But the hosts are out here trying to make it happen with a little bit of cash and preparing they can do due to those who backed out on making or bringing their dishes. Mm-hmm. All I'm asking is for y'all to think and be fair. Don't bring anyone we are unaware of.
Yes.
The monetary option was chosen. Once again, it was a minimum of $15 per adult. So make sure each adult is covered. Rant over. Next year will be different.
Now that last part is the equivalent to a threat. Like, y'all gonna learn next time. Y'all gonna learn. I've learned this time. Y'all gonna learn next time.
All facts. Now, even though she is magnitudes nicer than me, y'all see where I get it from.
Yeah.
It's funny, when Chrissy saw the post, she thought I wrote it. When she saw the post, she texted me. She's like, what? You made your mom post that? I said, no. No. All I did is, after it was already typed,
right,
she showed me before she posted it.
Right.
That's it. I ain't make no changes. I said, that's perfect.
See, you can stab somebody with a meat cleaver, or you can hit them up with a screwdriver with a Phillips head. Ping, 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 ping. These are little punctures, but you can do a lot of damage with that. Ping, ping.
Oh,
ping,
yeah.
Ping, ping.
It's gonna add up. It's gonna add up. So then the day of the event arrived. These are some of the things I talk about when I say people don't know how to plan. So if either of my cousins hear this, just know that I understand the pressure you guys were under, and we made it work. But these are just things that need to be improved upon in the future.
Okay.
So the entire time down the stretch, I kept stressing to the planning team and our coach, my mom, specific things that absolutely had to be at the park early.
Right.
And that those things either need to be among what we are contributing, or the people contributing either need a track record for being on time or early, or they need to drop it off with one of us the night before.
Right.
Chrissy was contributing drinks, and she was going to get them the day of. So we rode together in her vehicle. Her vehicle is bigger than mine. So I could help with loading and unloading, because, again, we could fit more stuff in her vehicle. And selfishly, because I now had an excuse if anybody asked me to go anywhere extra.
Right.
Oh, I don't got my car. The event was scheduled to start at 2. It takes time to set up. It also takes time to get the grill started. This area has effectively 4 grills back to back next to each other.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Then there were ribs. Ribs take hours to cook. So Chrissy had planned to get to my house by 10. My male cousin told me he was going to be at the park by 9 a.m. So I hit Chrissy and I asked her if she could be to me by 9:30. Why only a half an hour? Because she had some stuff she had to deal with the day before that was very taxing on her, and I wasn't about to put more on her plate.
Right.
She came and got me. We went to the store to get the drinks. Then we went to our mom's house to grab some of the meats and stuff for the grill or whatever else she needed me to take. My mother lives like 7 minutes from where the event was. So that's quick. That's
right.
Not an issue. We leave my mother's house at like 11:20. I call my male cousin to see if he had any ice with him that we could throw in the cooler with the uncooked meats while they're waiting to be cooked.
Mike is ass.
What do you say? I was gonna pop on the geese in the first wave ribs. So I asked him if he had any ice with him that I could throw in the cooler with the uncooked meat while it's waiting to be cooked. Otherwise, I was gonna stop and get some. Mm-hmm. Again, we left my mother's house at 11:20.
Okay.
He had just stopped putting stuff in his vehicle.
Wow.
He said he was going to be there at 9. And he has to make another stop on the way to pick up one of his sons. All right. We stop and grab ice. I'm about to pull up to the park. I call my female cousin to see where she is.
Okay.
She's just starting to put her stuff in the vehicle. So me and Chrissy are just at the park alone with the meats and the other stuff for the grill, but no way to start the grill.
Crazy.
I mean, it's what happened. Listen, it's what happened. I don't know, but no way to start the grill.
Oh, that's ass. Yo,
now,
so women, to be clear, y'all had raw meat in that motherfucker.
I had the ice though. I had the ice.
Okay, it's hot as shit.
We had a cooler, we had the ice. So that was cool.
It's hot as shit out here in Maryland. Y'all know. It's hot as shit right now.
So remember, we've been constructive here.
Okay.
So in all fairness, the reasons that they were both late are similar. They had quite a bit of work to do to prepare. They both had to cook.
Right.
They both had several people that were depending on them for rides. All right. But there are solutions to these problems. As far as them having so much to prepare and cook, that's solved by delegating a bit more. As far as them having to wait for other people to be ready or having to go pick people up, that should absolutely not have been the case. Right. Either those people should have had other rides or they should have made it as easy as possible for the drivers. Like, my cousin's son is of adult age.
Okay.
He's in his early 20s. Why didn't he make his way to you or make his way to the park?
Because.
Like, bruh. So next, my male cousin gets there at like 1. But he doesn't have the charcoal.
What?
So the solution to this one is simple. I don't know if it's going to happen, though. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as the two of them communicating better.
Right.
Because here's the thing. They live around the corner from each other. And when I say around the corner from each other, I don't mean one lives in Eberson Village, the other one lives at the bottom of Hilton. No, right. I mean literally around the corner from each other. Yeah. Yes. Like a walk, like if one of her sons was at his house and had the dog with them and they were taking the dog into the house, that would not have been an adequate walk for the dog. That is how close together they live. So y'all couldn't talk to each other. The first person that gets there should have the charcoal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there was a communication snafu.
Yeah. Moving along, I had no issue with contributing to reserving the park at all.
Okay.
Without the park, there's no event.
Facts.
But again, like I said, I should not have had to contribute any money above that.
That's very true.
Because I gave a fifth of the fee. That $250 should have been split between either the initial 11 of us.
Agreed.
Or more of the guests.
Agreed.
Then the biggest reason I shouldn't have had to contribute any more money is because I was on the grill all damn day.
And so for those of you who have never done that,
bruh,
also factor in not just the heat from the grill.
No.
It's already hot.
Mm-hmm.
It's already hot.
And again, remember, it's 4 grills.
4 grills. So he's manning 4 grills. And here's the thing. It's over 100 people there. He's dealing with, I would like mine medium.
Bruh, listen. I'm not. So the money part I already addressed. That was mostly not an issue of planning. But when I mentioned being on the grill all day in our last meeting for the event, they assured me, my cousins assured me. Absolutely, Mom. And you should not have had to. That is the point that
exactly.
That is the point that I made earlier.
Exactly.
So in that last meeting, my cousins assured me that I would have backup on this grill.
That's funny.
Significant help.
That's funny.
Right? No. What happened is they meant well. They just weren't being realistic.
Right. Right.
The main person they said would be helping me was one of her sons. 2 problems. At the last cookout that we had, which was last year for my mother's anniversary last year. Mm-hmm. We had a cookout at her house. At that cookout is when my cousins first told me about her son being next man up on the grill. Mm-hmm. So after most of the food was done, I went ahead and tagged him in. He wasn't really up for the task. It's not that he didn't know what he was doing.
Right.
That's not the case. The biggest reason was he had absolutely been learning how to work the grill. It's just, but only for the people in their houses.
Absolutely. And
so he was used to grilling for maybe 10, 15 people.
It's not the same thing, bro.
Same thing. He was used to cooking for like 10, 15 people maybe. There were at least 60 people at my mother's cookout last year. So a whole year had passed though. Right. So I'm sure he'd gotten better. The problem that actually manifested was his mother kept telling him to do things that had nothing. So I would have
slowed up the process.
Yeah. Right. I would have him for 5 minutes. We would hear his name. He'd be gone for 10.
Oh, jeez.
I'd have him for 2 minutes. We'd hear his name. He'd be gone for 30.
Jeez.
Like, so that happened. Then my male cousin who hosted, he came and helped. But I had him for about 40 minutes or so. This was the event was 6 hours. That's the event.
Yeah,
I started grilling an hour before that.
Yeah. And then the after cleanup shit.
Bro. So for my partners in crime, better communication, better planning, and more acting like we know how things work next time.
But yeah. I was about to say it. If you don't know how to work, if you don't know how it works, then that's the problem.
I mean, but it's 3 of us. Ask.
Yeah. Facts.
Between the 3, and my mother is always there to tell us what it is.
Right, right.
So it's 4 of us. Ask.
Yeah.
Next, I'm grilling. It's like 3:30 p.m.
It's like 95,000 degrees.
Bro, it was hot. It was hot. But nigga, I got the neck fan.
Did you? Yo, this is what I'm talking about.
I got a neck fan. Right there. No, my mother was like, I'm gonna steal that.
Your mom said her name was done.
Hey, I get it. I absolutely get it. And
the neck fan, bro. The neck fan.
It was essential. The only reason I made it through.
I know.
The only reason I made it through the day.
No, that's right. Fabo said, now, James, you were supposed to lock his ass down. This boy belongs to the grill and have no other task for the day. Good day.
All right. So next, I'm grilling.
Oh, she meant next year.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm grilling this like 3:30 or so. They decided to stop and say grace. Not unusual, but because I didn't get charcoal until like 1:45, and to this point I was working mainly alone, there wasn't really much food done and I hadn't put anything out on the serving table.
Right.
So after grace, I went back over to the grill to continue cooking. About 5 minutes later, I started having people come up to me asking about specific food items.
Oh boy!
Everybody had been given the green light to start eating, but none of the grill staples, as well as some of the stuff that people just brought and needed to be reheated, had been put out yet.
Right.
I already talked to my mom about this one. I asked her why that decision was made. She said because people had started eating already. Again, she's so nice. See, because the answer to that is tell them stop. The food ain't ready.
Yeah.
The food ain't ready. Tell them stop.
What's that scene in Guardians? It's not ripe.
Right. The food ain't ready. And like that's again a communication thing. That's not on her. That's on my cousins.
That's it.
Y'all see them eating. Y'all know I've been on the grill. Y'all know y'all were late. Yeah. Tell them stop and let me know that people are starting to eat and see what I have done.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. So
they should have all brought like a Twix or something.
Bruh. Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. me and Chrissy, we was in the store getting the drinks. We realized how long it was going to be until we actually got a chance to eat.
I know that's
donuts.
Right. I know that's right.
Listen,
yo, that's right.
Ain't no way.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
So the last complaint is about one specific cousin of mine. Actually, he my mama cousin. I don't I know him. No, it's not. It's not. I don't know him. Yeah, it's my cousin, but he's not.
Snickers. That's gonna say the Snickers.
Hey, you're not yourself when you're hungry.
I'm just saying.
No, he is my cousin, but I'm saying he's not my generation.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, that's my mama cousin.
Yeah, and see those cousins when I was growing up.
Somebody came in with pizza. What? I didn't even see that.
Damn it.
But hey, listen, I ain't mad because I'm
smart. I don't know. But
smart.
Yeah, like you talk, the type of cousin you talking about is the ones that we were told to call cousin such and such.
Yo, that's funny. I'm so glad you said that because that reminds me. So the female cousin, she actually is in the one that was helping plan. Mm-hmm. She is in my generation, but because our ages are so different, I always used to call her cousin.
Yep.
And she used to hate it. Oh, she hated it. She said, please stop calling me that. Just call me by my name.
I think that's a Southern thing. I'm not sure, but I know growing up, the grown ass cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you couldn't just call them by their name. You had to call. No. Yeah, that wasn't.
No. And like I said on here before, it's not a disrespect thing.
No,
but I give my females more respect than I give the males.
Right.
And as in the male cousins and uncles,
right,
more quickly get to being their first name.
Exactly.
The female cousins, eventually they get to being their first names.
Right.
The aunts, they aunts.
Yeah.
They never their first names to me.
Yo, the hierarchy was so serious in my family that even once I got to be an adult, it felt weird calling them anything else other than
bro. Yeah. Facts though. So again, this last complaint is about that.
Disco said that wasn't a thing in his family. I'm sure.
We talked about this. Yeah, we talked about this. The last complaint about a specific cousin of mine. Facts. Mommy said it. When they're old enough to be your parent,
that's it.
Your cousin in front of you. That's what it is. That's what it is.
That's why I think that might be a Southern thing, maybe a Southern African American thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
facts. The last complaint is about one specific cousin of mine. For those on Facebook, on my Facebook, and saw my post, he's the one that I cussed out. So you can imagine that after all of this, my fuse is relatively short.
It's a little short.
This particular individual showed up like 5 minutes before they said grace. That was when he got there.
Right.
Again, it started at 2.
Right.
It was like 3:25. And he had the DJ. So for this first hour and some change, we had no music, whatever the case. Okay. He showed up 5 minutes before they said grace. He brought turkey burgers. Every 5 minutes from the time that he got there,
right,
he would come up to me and ask me about those damn turkey burgers.
Yo, I swear that sounds like a skit from numerous shows.
Bruh.
Yeah.
First of all, you showed up 2 hours, like almost 2 hours late, wanting to be a priority.
Yeah.
Second, he came to me with the turkey burgers while I was standing by the grill. You can see the grill is completely full.
Where they gonna go?
Now, I don't know much about turkey burgers because I don't eat them. But at least I do know that you have to cook them well done because it's poultry.
Yes.
They don't go from not having a spot to put them on the grill to being done in 5 minutes.
It doesn't work that way.
It does not work that way.
It reminds me of that episode of Married with Children where Al had the Labor Day cookout and he got burgers and shit. And Steven will come over with salmon and shit. And he like, sure, just leave it right there. I'll get to it. and as soon as Steve walked away, he tossed that shit in the trash like, no fish shall be on my grill.
I ain't go that far. Third, after the first time he asked, he could clearly see the crowd of people hovering around the grill asking for other food.
Right.
after his fourth time asking, I politely informed him that I would find him and let him know when a turkey burger was done.
Right.
I might be exaggerating a bit when I say politely, but
yeah, I get it.
Okay, a lot of good stuff. It was amazing being around the people
right
I choose to interact with. Everybody is older and doing their own thing, so we don't meet up as much as we used to.
Right.
This was Chrissy's first time meeting my family outside of my parents. Mm-hmm. This is Marcus's first time meeting my extended family. Mm-hmm. They didn't embarrass me. The family. Damn it. The family, that is. They didn't embarrass me. This is the first time all three of my godchildren were in the same place with me in, I have no idea how many years.
Did they become your coal obsidian? Your black
wait for it, my guy. Wait for it.
Just so you know, any godchildren I have will become the heralds of Galactus. Like this is what it is.
So the oldest one is a spoiled brat.
Oh damn.
All right, so this is the last story about the event. I could not leave this one out. So when she got to the park, she comes up to me and she says, I just keep getting taller. I said, yes, and you'll probably get just a little bit taller and then stop growing. She didn't like that.
So of course she didn't like. She kicked you in the knee.
I think I only got 3. Did I forget one?
Damn.
Pretty sure I only got 3.
I hope you didn't forget one.
Yeah, no. Because I don't know. I don't know if you think about Maya. Maya is just niece. I'm not Maya's godfather. So like I said, she ain't like that. Then she started talking about how she was 15 now and basically trying to guilt me into getting her a gift, talking about her birthday was coming up. I told her.
You were more than likely right about the height thing. She's 15.
Yeah, she's going to grow a little bit.
A little more than that's.
Yeah, and then she's going to stop.
Yes, man.
And I told her, I'm like, yo. She's like, my mother's tall. Darling, baby. I know how tall your mother is. Your mother helped raise me. Yeah. So yes, I'm aware of how tall your mother is. Right. So she tried to guilt me into getting her a gift, talking about she got a birthday coming up. I told her I know how old you are, and I know when your birthday is. Right. So she called me on knowing her birthday. She got me. She did know. She absolutely got me, but there's a little bit of a caveat. No, her father is not tall. And that was the other reason why I figured she's not going to get much taller than she is.
Right.
So she got me, but to be fair, I'm getting old. And I have a terrible memory. And it's not like I just didn't know her birthday. Her birthday's in October, and I always mix it up, partially because of the way I remember birthdays.
Your mom said her dad isn't tall. So
yeah, no, he's not. I don't miss her birthday. But through the year, if I'm ever asked, I don't usually remember if it's the 7th or the 8th.
Yeah.
But when I said the 8th, her best friend was sitting there and she was like, nope, it's the 7th. My goddaughter looked at me and said,
she was horrified.
See, even my best friend knows. Lady, you don't understand. That statement doesn't mean what you think it does. Yes, as a 15-year-old girl, your best friend would absolutely know the exact date of your birth. Okay. So at this point, I just thought she was being ridiculous. Little did I know, she was playing the long game. Before I walked away, she asked me what I was getting her for her birthday.
Gotta respect it.
I asked her what she wanted. She said she don't know. I told her to figure it out and let me know. She asked me what her budget was. I told her figure out first,
right,
and then we'll get that together.
Yeah, right.
And then I went back to the grill. So later on in the day, she comes up to me. She asked me what I'm getting for her birthday. I repeat what I said earlier. She asked, can she get a pair of shoes? I said, sure. She asked, could she get something else? I said, sure. She asked for a car. Now, not just any car. There's a specific SUV that she wants, and she wants it with big black rims and black tint.
So let me see if I understand something. Is the impression that you have already secured the bag?
It cannot be
something that has gone throughout the
well,
do they think that?
I'll explain to you what it is in a little bit.
Yikes!
I'll explain to you what it is a little bit. So, like I said, a specific SUV, I can't remember which one it was, with big black rims and black tint. So we go back and forth for a bit because I find this amusing. So
I find it expensive.
Well, Nick. So my other cousin, he's like, oh, mind you, all three of these godchildren are actually also my cousins. So one of my other cousins, he steps in, he's like, listen, if you can save $1,000, I'll give you $200. Then
just hears that her a model.
listen. She hears that, looks at me and says, see, now you just have to give me $3,000. That just put the icing on the cake and confirmed for me. You don't have a true concept of how money works.
Yo, the just part.
For you to think that
you're going to get
for me. For that to be just, number one. But number two, for you to think that you're going to get that car with those things for $4,200, you don't know what you're talking about.
Listen, bro. What I have learned with children is their concept of money a lot of the times of how much money the adults actually like disposable income that the adults actually is wildly off center. It's wildly off center, bro. Like they believe that, like, see, I didn't have those issues growing up because my mom was very, very upfront. We are po. Screw the extra O and the R because we can't afford that. We are po.
No, that's funny. You see, hold up. See, I love what you said. Her middle brother asked, when am I going to give him my car? See?
Mike said, he said, hey, SBJ.
Yo, so, mind you, she will be turning 15. She wouldn't even be able to drive the damn car.
That's crazy, bro.
So I started asking people about this car thing to see if somebody had sowed this seed in her brain or some shit. So her stepfather said, I stopped him like, yo, why do you think why does she think she's getting a car for her birthday? He said, yo, she wilding.
Yo, listen, you 100%. We win the lotto, we got you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We got you.
Without question.
Got you.
Oh, yeah, that's done.
Got you.
Then her mother walks by. I'm like, yo, why she think she getting a car for her birthday? Her mother said, don't pay her no mind. So I made it clear to her that she was not getting a car. Then she asked,
okay. Are you sure you made it clear?
No, but she stopped.
Okay.
She stopped asking about a car.
All right.
She said, all right, what about a 75-inch flat screen TV to go in her room? So I explained to her how far you're supposed to sit away from a TV so big. And I was not about to contribute to messing up her vision at such an early age.
You ain't lying.
She said, oh, my vision is already starting to mess up.
So let's make it worse. Yo.
I'm like, yo.
That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Talk.
I'm not getting you a car. I'm not getting you a 75-inch TV. I might get you a flat screen.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be a 75-inch.
No, 75. Come on, bro. I don't have a 75-inch in here.
Bro.
I think the biggest screen is like 60 something.
Right.
Like,
so another one of my female cousins walked up and joined the conversation. She's 18, I think. My goddaughter thought she was there to help her.
Okay.
But then she started talking about how that cousin wasn't my goddaughter because she was like, yes, car, we talking about cars? My goddaughter was like, he ain't your godfather. I said, hold up. One of my godsons walked up behind me. I said, yo, you know you're not my only godchild, right?
You start giving out cars, nigga. You
Bruh.
in a world of hurt.
Right? I'm like, yo, you're not my only godchild. she started talking about how her brother didn't count.
Oh, damn.
How does your brother not count? He's still my godson. Like,
no, she meant he's having a hard time in math.
Shut up. No, you know what's funny about that? She said he don't deserve it.
Really?
I said, why wouldn't he deserve it?
Based off of what?
Right. And his father was right there, and I'm like, don't he do good in school? His father was like, yeah, he do good in school. I said, oh, so he deserves the gifts just like you do.
He been in them streets. That's what it is.
She like, well, all right, can I get she was like, can I get the shoes for back to school and the TV for my birthday? Darling.
Yo, she just adding on.
Right. Because she like,
griff, yo. The
100%. She like, because, I'm going to city. Yes, I know that you're going to my alma mater. But that, first of all, I'm the wrong person. I don't care about.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're going to a good school.
Yes,
but the fact that I went to city means nothing to me. Right. Absolutely. But anyway, so it hit me a way that I could be petty to her and get her back for this guilt trip that she tried on me.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
So I told her she wasn't even my first godchild.
Oh,
that blew her mind for a second because she either had forgotten or didn't realize that it wasn't just her and her brother.
Right.
She said, who? I mentioned my other godson, pointed at him. She said, but I'm older than him. I said, I know, but you're going to have to ask y'all mothers how that went. Like, how that went.
Yo.
So really? I said on this wild goose chase because she's absolutely right. Not only is she about 3 years older than my other godson,
what's funny is
I was her godfather well before she was born.
That's hilarious.
I was her godfather when my cousin found out she was pregnant.
Oh, damn.
So there's definitely more good, but the bad just takes up so much time.
Of course.
Not that there was necessarily more bad. It just had to be explained more, but we're going to move
on. Hold up, bro. I got to answer this back door.
Who the hell at the back door? You know what? He never did mention if his garbage disposal got fixed. And if it has not been fixed, that means it's almost been a month. And that's absolutely unacceptable. Because y'all know normally when he got to get off the screen, it's the cat. But I'm guessing after this past week's shenanigans, he might have preemptively put the cat upstairs. Oh, crap. Where is... here we go. So yeah, there was definitely a lot more good that happened, and looking forward to the next one. Not looking forward to the planning because I'm obviously going to have to be involved with it from the beginning. And also, I think we have more people that are going to help with the planning to help better fix the problem of us three not really knowing everybody, because that kind of puts a damper on things. And I get it, because I don't like people either. So generally, if I don't know you, I'm not about to go on my way to talk to you. So I understand. I'm not even mad about that. But it also, I'm absolutely going to do more to make sure that I have help on the crew, because that was a lot. It was a whole lot. So what's next? Okay. So y'all know we use at the end of the episodes, we normally do Am I the Asshole? So Bowflex said it kind of is like that. It kind of is like that. But like I said, it's a family reunion on steroids because it's not just family. It's also friends and all that other good stuff. So it was overall, it was absolutely a good time. And it has been a while since we did. It's been 4 years because of the pandemic. So it was good to do that again.
It's been 4 years since y'all did that?
Yeah. At the very least, it's been 4 years. All right, so I was gonna say this for the end because it made sense at the end, but I'm just gonna do it now. Like I said, we do Am I the Asshole segment at the end of the show. So since we use the Am I the Asshole subreddit for content, I decided it was only right that I provided the subreddit with some content.
Oh, damn.
And the story that I used was the story about this unresolved issue with my friend about these trips. And
yeah.
I did it. Well, here's the thing. I did it to find out two things. One, I just wanted to see. Okay. So one, I wanted to see what random strangers would think, right? Because even though I feel like I'm being relatively objective about this, everybody I've talked to about it has some type of bias.
Yeah.
Whether it's other friends, whether it's family, whether it's the audience, y'all don't know her.
Right. So
y'all got a slight bias at the very least towards me.
Point of order, sir.
Whatever. So, and the other thing that I wanted to find out was how posting in that subreddit works. So first of all, there's a 3,000 character limit for posts. That might seem like a lot. It is absolutely not. It took me like 4 drafts.
I could see that
to get a suitable
you should have
post.
slid that son bitch and chat GPT.
Listen. That gave enough information about the situation. Also, I didn't know if they counted spaces or not.
Okay.
After 2 drafts, what I came up with was like 4,364 characters, including spaces. Now, I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know how many characters it was.
Right.
I wasn't editing for characters at that point. I was editing to try to make the range of info I included as narrow as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I put that version into the website. Their UX, for people that don't know, that means user experience, is horrendous. Oh, it's terrible. First of all, this might be my first post. First of all, there is no character counter.
So how do you know you're going over? I'm gonna tell you how you know you're going over. The same way I knew I was hitting 16 bars without counting it.
No. It's absolutely not the same thing. Not even close. So after I typed the whole thing up and submitted it, I get a message immediately that my post has been removed.
Oh my!
Because it has exceeded the character limit. And guess what? Even the message that tells me that it exceeded the character limit didn't tell me about how much. So I had to take
what it's none of your business.
I know, right? So I had to take what I typed and put it in Word. That's when I found out how many characters it was.
No, you could have put it in Google Docs too. There's a way for you to get the word count there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I can't remember why I used Word, but yeah. Mm-hmm. It was 4,364. So I went through and eliminated some adjectives and things that helped explain but weren't necessary.
Right.
I was still at like 3,700 characters. I then took the text and pasted it into Claude. I told it to condense it as much as possible without getting rid of important details. Mm-hmm. I then took what it output and proofread it. It got like 5 things wrong.
Okay.
And left out like 1 or 2 important points.
Right. It does that sometimes.
Yeah.
You gotta go and remind it about
absolutely. After I fixed those, we were under the character limit. Once your post is accepted, that subreddit makes a copy of your post and makes it a comment so that people can see if you made any changes to the original post. I like that. That's good. That's good. They also, I found this very interesting.
Okay.
They also make you explain how you could have been wrong in the scenario.
Interesting.
And what exactly you did specifically that would potentially make you the asshole. That goes in another comment.
What's that shit the Punisher said? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do?
So, I would like to read to you some of these comments. If I can.
Oh, damn. Did you get a lot of them?
Not a lot.
Okay.
Not a lot. So, TLDR, just for a refresher for those who don't remember, because I'm not going to read the whole thing. TLDR, I invited my friend on a group trip. She had issues with my planning. She complained throughout. On the trip, she rubbed everybody the wrong way. She's mad I haven't invited her since. So, comment 1. I gave her the name Alicia. Her name is not Alicia, but for Reddit purposes.
Yes.
So, I'm going to say Alicia. So, first comment, not the asshole. Alicia sounds like a piece of work. She can't decide, doesn't want to pay, forgot that she still owes you money, wouldn't communicate, invited other people, and then proved the money thing wasn't an issue by buying an expensive item on the trip. She isn't a good friend. She isn't a good person, and I wouldn't spend any additional time with her, period.
Wow. You know, I've often questioned silently, what is the friend part of this? Because I don't know about the other times y'all may have had spent.
I'll explain that after this.
Shit like that. Okay.
I'll explain that after this. Next comment, not the asshole, but I wouldn't call her a friend, let alone a close friend. Next comment, not the asshole, but also, quote, she's having money problems, and quote, she went out and bought a designer bag. Don't add up. You literally paid for her to go. She did pay you back, but not after giving you grief and shit talking you to friends.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But you went above and beyond what was required of you. This is a group trip. If she doesn't want to be a part of said group, that's fine, but she can't expect to be invited as well. Next person, not the asshole. When you are included in a group event, you should do everything in your power to make it easy for everyone involved. Seems it was a group decision not to include her on future group trips. And 2 more. 1. Isn't the purpose of a deposit that it's money you don't get back if you cancel? She wanted a deposit refund. And last comment, not the asshole. Act like an asshole on a vacation, and you'll find you won't get another invite. I have a few friends that I enjoy spending time with, but would never vacation with. Our ideas on how to relax and enjoy vacation are too different. So
I'm glad that person said that. Right. Because that is 100% the truth.
Absolutely.
And to be clear, I wasn't certain on how to relax until I had that very first relaxing vacation. I was like, oh, this. That other shit is cool. But if I have to choose and know I have to go back to a bunch of bullshit when I get back to the real world, I choose the relaxation here instead of going home and then being tired from all the shit I did. I was on vacation.
Absolutely. So to answer your question, that is a part of what it is, right? There are very few times. It just so happened that within the last 2 years, all this shit has happened.
Okay.
This is not like, I mean, I don't know, to be fair to not her, I guess, because this isn't actually helping her.
Right.
But there haven't really been other opportunities for anything so drastic to happen.
Okay.
So, but nothing else that drastic has ever happened. So, and again, it's a good time usually. Like the type of shit, put it like this, the type of shit that I used to have to complain about her about is the type of shit I complain about with Marcus.
Right.
So it's not that big a deal. Like, it's just these 2 instances, 3, the thing with her party that she showed up to 4 hours late.
Yeah.
Thing with the trip. And then
they were egregious.
Party, they were egregious. Yeah. And she is not being, she's not showing accountability.
Right.
And we have a date for the talk.
Oh.
August 4th.
Let me ask you a question about that.
August 5th, y'all will hear what happened.
About that. So today, sir,
is
the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
You say the date for the talk is August 4th.
This coming Friday.
So I have all of those things clear.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really have an expectation that date is locked in stone?
According to her, she doesn't flake on dates.
But she does flake.
It hasn't been a thing
on vacations. So
I mean, I don't know that.
I've
only invited her on one.
But look, but she also flakes on accountability. Hence, her walking out.
Here's the thing. It's not just that's facts. Walking out when I showed her the definition of a fucking word. But here's the thing. The group hangout isn't just about that.
Okay.
So even if she doesn't show up, it won't be like it. It will still be productive.
No,
even if she doesn't even show up, even if she decides to walk out after 15 minutes, it'll still be productive.
You are very 15.
Yo,
your optimism is crazy.
I'm again. You are not the only person that has asked me this. I don't have any optimism for this situation. This is not a situation where I feel like at the end of this, everything will be great. No, I don't have any. This is when we got back from that trip 2 years ago, almost. You said we need to sit down and have a talk. All of us need to sit down and have a talk. This is me, and you never pushed to make that happen. This is me.
I wonder why.
Right, exactly. This is me helping you keep that same energy.
Damn.
And in the event that you don't, I tried.
Yeah. Yo, Discourse said, is this the home girl that's not a home girl to match the supervisor that's not your supervisor?
Well, I mean, it depends on how this goes. It depends on how this goes.
Okay.
Because
right.
I personally, I'm not. So she is. I haven't seen her many times since this thing happened.
Okay.
In this past year and a half, 2 years, I've probably seen her maybe 10 times. That's low.
Yeah, it sounds
what
low.
It usually is. Yeah. So y'all know me. I'm not the guy to continue putting myself in a situation where I'm not comfortable.
Nor should you be.
So that's why I don't reach out to her to hang out. Like it don't happen. If ever she wants to hang out or she needs me for something, then but other than that, no. Depending on how this goes, will determine if that's even still the case.
Just a bit of advice for some of the people out there about that specific thing he's talking about. Life is short as fuck.
Facts.
I went to sleep. It feels like every day I went to sleep the night before and I was 16. That's how fast this shit goes. So you really do have to be careful who you invite in to your life and the type of energy they give off and how it affects you.
Absolutely.
Because you don't have as much time as you think you do when you're young. When you're young, you say, oh yeah, wasting time is offensive. Wasting somebody's time is offensive. You know what I'm saying? And part of wasting time is not just you got me out here doing some shit that has no value, either from an enjoyment standpoint or a monetary standpoint. It's also you're giving me extra headaches, extra arguments, and all of them shit that I don't really need. No. And I've gotten really somewhere along the line, this idea forged online about how you shouldn't block anybody. You should never do. Fuck out of here. My page is my front porch.
Yeah.
It's my front lawn. I routinely kick motherfuckers off my lawn.
Bro.
Fuck out of here.
I don't know if I said this part on here before, but when we went through that situation where we weren't talking, a mutual friend of ours, my homegirl, kept complaining to her, talking about I was taking subliminal shots at her.
What, on the show?
So no, on Facebook.
Oh, damn.
So, well, I mean, on the show,
right, sis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
On the show, they subliminal. I'm absolutely talking about. But no, on Facebook. Now, mind you, I had not been. It was a situation where Hit Dogs Holler.
I was about to say,
and
that's what that was.
What did I do in response? I blocked her.
Yeah.
Because you're complaining about, I'm helping you. I'm helping you out. You're complaining about, I'm not going to stop posting how the fuck I post. This was a year and a half ago. Matter of fact, this is still the old page.
Yeah.
This is still the old page. So I was always talking about some disingenuous person, some self-centered person.
Right.
I was always on that. Ain't nothing to do with her.
So, but if your mindset is that everything you say, because you resemble that remark, you're projecting.
You think this post is
about you. You're so man. Yeah.
So I blocked her. And our mutual friend fussed at me for that. Like, why would you block her?
Why wouldn't I?
Why not? It was that serious blocker. She doesn't interact.
She's having a problem now.
Right. She doesn't interact with me on Facebook. She doesn't like the things I'm posting.
Right.
I'm helping her not see the things I post.
Right.
Like, I don't understand. I'm not going to change I didn't change what I post for her before, and I'm not going to false correct.
Yeah.
No. These ain't got shit to do with you.
Yeah. Discord, it honestly takes quite a bit to get me to the point where I'll actually fuck with most people. I don't usually communicate with my parents on a regular basis. I've gone months and months without thinking about people I consider good friends. And this is the other thing, right? So for most folks, I would assume that there is a circle of people who, anytime they call, you're going to answer. Anytime they hit you up, you're going to answer. These people have priority in your life.
Thanks.
People keep priority in your life by not being a nuisance, by not being a hassle, by not giving me a fucking headache. Because I don't have time for your bullshit. In this life, we all go through some shit. But that's why I can be there for my folks, because most of the time they handle their shit. And then when there's a problem, sure, you come to your support system. But they don't abuse the privilege. And they also don't annoy me in a way. Most of my family and friends that I talk to on a regular basis are annoying assholes. Mm-hmm. They're not malicious assholes. In other words, they troll. I troll. No. That sort of thing. But somebody that's constantly coming on one of your goddamn posts or getting involved in, even if it's not online, just offline.
Only coming on your post when they disagree with you.
Only coming on posts when they disagree with you. And in real life, when you meet in real life, there's always a hassle. It's always some shit. It's always some stuff they're arguing about. It's always yo, me personally, y'all can do what y'all want because y'all be doing crazy shit out here.
Bruh.
I'm not dealing with that bullshit. I'm not. Because I have in the past.
Yeah.
Out of a false sense of, you gotta. No.
A part of my thing is I'll let you, like, outside of egregious shit, I'll let you get away with a certain amount of stuff. And this is selfish as fuck, but it is what it is. I'll let you get away with a certain amount of stuff until another individual can provide me with what you provide me with. Yeah. And they don't make me go through that bullshit.
Right.
So, okay, she was one of my only female friends for a long time.
Right.
Like friend, because y'all know the way I feel about friend is different than
it's different. Yeah.
Yeah. Like friend. She was for years, because we met in high school.
Right.
For years, she was one of my only, like, one of three.
Right.
So once her homegirl started hanging out with us, and I wasn't having any of these problems out of her, it magnified the issue.
Yeah. This doesn't
and
just
then
come
now,
with having a close female friend.
Bruh.
Right.
And then now Chrissy and I have been friends since high school.
Right.
But our friendship was much different before.
Yes.
Like we didn't really hang out.
Right.
We just like kept in communication.
Right.
Now that we're more than friends.
Right.
And I don't have any of this type of Oh, well, listen, there might be less room for you now.
Yeah, and that's listen, bro.
It just is what it is.
It is. It really is. Something else I wanted to kind of bring up too. So, and I completely forgot about this. My wife posted a post about an experience she had with a Black-owned business.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
The assumption from one of the commentators who's typically on point about stuff, but you way off base with this shit, was that my wife was one of those people who rarely, if ever, support Black businesses. She decided to take it.
Hold up, stop real quick. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Because my response to bullshit isn't really palatable.
Yes.
What? Who could this person have been?
He doesn't know. How could he?
There's no way. Like that's
my sister saw it first. Like not even 5 minutes after I guess he posted. She texted me because you know that what we used to refer to you and Addie as the hyena squad.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
My sister,
yeah.
My sister does not play none of that shit, but she also is an adult, and she didn't know who.
Where, to be clear, sometimes me and Eddie weren't.
Exactly. She didn't know what the connection was with that. Right. My wife, as someone who has been chastised for going
real quick. Eddie said hi, everybody.
Oh yeah, Eddie did say hi. He did.
Yeah, we was talking to him before we started the show.
Right. But I as someone that's been chastised because I'm a hammer. Yeah. So
thanks.
And there's been a situation where I was lied to in the form of a joke, but I thought the person really said it. Mm-hmm. And I'm about to snatch nigga out of his fucking car. You know what I'm saying? Right? Until I was and I had I had to have one of them talks with my wife where she had to tell me, listen, I'm not trying to suppress the warrior thing that you got going on over there, but I don't need you to do that. I don't need you to do that. Right. So I'm very cognizant now of her wishes with that. So when my sister told me, I was like, all right, so here's the thing, Yetta. I'm about to get on here. You know what I'm saying? To me, you know what I'm saying? So you let me know. No.
Oh, to be fair, it's a very good thing for Yetta and her wishes.
Yes.
That I didn't see that.
I know.
First of all, what you not going to do?
I know.
What are we talking about?
I know. And I was thinking that too. So, woo! I'm sure glad.
Bro.
Woo, boy.
Listen.
And it's funny. I think she posted afterwards, right? Something to the effect of surround yourself with people that'll fight for you when you're not in the room. You're not even in the room.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't put two and two. Like I didn't.
Yeah, my sister. Woo, boy, she was about to. Yo,
I'm not. Listen. Your sister is older than me. I'm
but
not
she's
as
younger
evolved.
than me.
Right, I know, but I'm not quite as evolved.
Yeah,
I don't.
Rectal vocalization is common on the internet.
That's funny. I would. All right. To be fair, particularly because I have not done so yet on this Facebook profile.
Yes, yeah, I know it's true.
I would have first sent you the screenshot.
Right.
I would have. It hurts me a little bit to say that, but yes, I would have.
Understood.
Because that's generally not how I would handle.
That's not what you want. Thing. But on this particular new profile, you're not trying to
bring that there.
Right.
So, okay. Yes. So, all right. In this situation, yes, I would have sent you the screenshot.
Yeah. Yes. But either way, like I said, and my wife knows that there are several people that are in a circle, folks, that's going to go, what? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If they sit there, what? But I just thought it was funny because my sister, that shit wasn't up 5 minutes. It wasn't up 5 minutes. Right. And see, my sister don't post on Facebook. Mm-hmm. She you don't see her very rarely. She might throw a shot at me. You know what I'm saying, under certain things every so often, but she don't post on that. But she be watching. She's on that watching shit, that you watch you shit. She be watching. She be watching shit. She sees some shit that she think looking a little shaky. If I was to just unlock the door on that,
because I'm sorry, hold on. Here's the most egregious part of that.
Right.
The business was wrong.
Flat out.
That's so
flat out.
Oh, it goes into one of these topics. I don't know which one. And we ain't there yet. So, but I'm just gonna say it now. Yo, there are some things that happen to be true, right?
Yes.
But they don't help anything. They aren't really pertinent to the situation that people try to apply them to.
Right.
Is what that person said a thing?
It is a thing.
Without question.
Yeah.
Even if Yetta was one of those type of people, in this scenario, clearly the business was in the wrong.
Dead ass.
So
dead ass. And the fact that she went out of her way because there's other businesses that are closer. She purposely said, no, I'm going to give it to sis.
You're scheduling and whatever advertisements and special, you need to be on top of that.
A lack of communication, and then you're not even answering your fucking phone.
We're not.
Yeah. Come on, we're not doing. And then the other thing about that is she's 100%. If my wife my wife posts something like that, everybody that knows her on the post knows she has the credibility,
absolutely,
to make that critique.
You know what? Thinking about it further, I'm actually going to amend what I said. I probably would have sent you the screenshot
afterwards.
Yeah, right. Not first.
Afterwards.
The first thing I probably would have done was comment under that person's post. Did you read the post?
Yeah.
That's probably the first thing I would have done. Mm-hmm. What happened next would be completely contingent upon
what the response. Yeah. Because this is if you know my wife, if you actually know her, she has all the credibility to critique that shit. All of it. So you out of pocket because you haven't known her for any length of time.
Right.
The connection to her that you have is from the hashtag escape exit.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
What we not going to do.
You don't know her.
What we not going to do. You know how, man, that's sad. Because you know the whole concept of like forgetting where you came from.
Yes.
I kind of feel like this is that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So you got your shit together and you left. Mm-hmm. So you reaching back with spit on your hand, basically. Like,
basically.
What are you,
because it's weird. It's super weird because, like, I scroll past so much shit.
Right.
There are people that are on my friends list that I know are on my friends list because they are supporters of content, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know them personally like that. So when I see them post certain shit, as long as it's not super egregious, I might disagree with it, but I'm gonna keep on going because it ain't got nothing to do with me. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel the need that I have to respond or make a comment on every goddamn thing. This is a lesson I feel that a lot of people need to learn is that everything does not require your
correct.
feedback. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it ain't even worth you to get involved with the shit. Period. Right?
Correct.
Everybody doesn't necessarily think that way, and I think more people should, because it would stop you from getting jammed up in shit. Like the bullet that was dodged that day, crazy, because it could have got, like, you know what I'm saying,
bruh.
Yo, just chill and stop assuming you know people's motivations. That you don't know anything about this person's past. Like, there's so many black businesses that would not be around if it wasn't for my
right.
Like,
here's the thing. Even if you did make that assumption, that ain't their business. That ain't
right.
Like if you assume that I am that type of person, it's not my business.
It's not my business that you assume
it's
that.
Not my business.
Yeah.
Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself.
Show it to your friends in the group chat.
Keep it to yourself, champ.
Right.
Keep it to yourself, champ.
Take a screenshot, put it in your group chat, make fun of me.
Talk about that. Yeah.
Do that.
But you don't got to.
Don't
know me like that.
You don't know me. You
don't know me,
bruh.
You know, the thing that used to piss me off the most when I was growing up, because that refrain, "You don't know me," is a common refrain in the hood. Right before niggas about to fight. What's some shit about to go on? Nigga, you don't know me.
Or the popular variation from it. I'm from.
Yeah, that's it. Right.
Yeah.
That used to annoy me growing up, because nigga, I don't need to know you to beat your motherfucking ass out here. I don't what the fuck? Thanks. If you violating, I feel you violating right now. I don't really matter. I don't need to know your social security number and all of that. Beat your motherfucking ass out here. But what it actually means is you don't know what I'll do to you.
Right.
And to that, even with that understanding of that, same thing applies to me. Sure. Right. You know what I'm saying? Same thing applies to me. You don't know what I do to you out here, you know what I'm saying? For this bullshit. So we on the same place. So there's no need to say it. No. There's no reason to say it.
Not at all.
You know?
Just assume it's true.
Just assume that once you step into a situation, assume that I have already factored in the consequences. Mm-hmm. And I'm at the point where I don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. So now act accordingly to defend your person, sir, because I'm already at that point. You don't need to tell me I don't know you. Thanks. I don't care about that. You know I'm at the point I don't care about that. I've already factored. I don't know this person. Right. This person could be a triple-double black belt in jiu-jitsu. This person could have a gun on the right. But I am currently at the point where there's consequences. I've acknowledged that, and I'm still going to throw these all in your face, and we're going to see what's going to happen. After you might win. You might 100% win. But I factored all of that in already. Right back to that end. You know what I'm saying?
All right. This last personal topic. So I'm at work. Growth is important. Right?
Growth is important. Now, all growth is not good.
No.
Like a cancer.
Yeah.
It's not some shit you want.
But there's a really good reason why I am so passionate about a lot of the things I hate. It's because I'm uniquely familiar with them. A lot of them things. No, seriously. A lot of them things I used to participate in.
Yeah.
And I see what it looks like, and I'm like, ew, I used to.
No, that's facts.
That's crazy.
That's facts.
That's wild.
That's facts.
One of those things is 100% unwarranted application of a perceived expertise. Let me explain why this is. Let me explain why this is a little bit more specific than unsolicited advice. Okay. Because if it's under that umbrella, but let's say I'm in a group of people and I hear one of them mention a computer issue. if I jump in on my own volition, that could be considered unsolicited advice, right? That person didn't actually ask me for help.
That's true.
There are people who don't like that, and that's cool. That's cool. What I'm talking about is infinitely more annoying. It's more akin to an unprompted, well, actually. Oh, this popped up.
I hate that.
Last week. So the company I work for used to do birthday luncheon every month in the downtown office, where everybody in the office would come together in the lunchroom and eat, and there would be announcements, and any new people that month would be introduced, and there's these little pens that the boss gives out commemorating how long the people have been with the company, blah, blah, blah. It's a whole ordeal.
Right.
Once the pandemic hit, obviously that stopped. Now the company still pays for lunch once a month, but we grab it and go eat wherever we eat individually. There is a pair of sisters that work at this office. They have Italian heritage. I don't know what generation Italian American they are. It's funny because Marcus works with one of them. And he absolutely hates it when she calls herself Italian because he's weird like that. He's like,
what's wrong with him? What is wrong with him?
He doesn't, like, in his mind, he doesn't understand the concept that even if they're fifth generation, they're still Italian. Like, he doesn't get that. He feels like if they're not first generation.
Nah, B, that's not how it works.
Right.
That's not how it works.
But when Marcus has deemed something stupid,
then that's stupid. It doesn't matter what. Yeah, right.
Anyway, the one that doesn't work with him decided that she was going to eat her rum in the lunchroom. I did as well. Now, my issue with her, in general, is that she is a talker's talker.
Damn.
Like, she's extremely nice, but boy, does she hate silence.
Right. She thinks that all silence is awkward.
Bruh, I'm talking to the point that she will say good morning to me 3 times in one day.
Oh. But wait a minute. Let me ask you this. This is very important. When she says good morning to you 3 times a day, is it always morning when she says it?
Yes.
Okay.
So she's right, but but we've already
you've already wished me good morning.
We've done this already. It's egregious. It's ridiculous. But we're in the lunchroom with one other person. All 3 of us at different tables, and the silence just got to be too much for her to handle. She says out loud, "Did anybody get the meatball sub?" Y'all know me, so I'm immediately curious, and I'm trying to figure out in my head why she's asking that. I had it, but I got the meatball sub, so I said yes. She says, "Is it any good?" I say, "Yeah, it's pretty good." Mind you, she said all of this in one breath. What I'm about to say, she said all this in one breath. Oh, that's interesting. I never get it when we get lunch from here because, I'm Italian. My sister makes meatballs just like my mother used to, and I just can't eat anybody else's. This other restaurant, I'm only saying this other restaurant because I don't remember the name that she said, but she was not talking about the place we got the food we were eating. This other restaurant used to have good meatballs, but when they made them, but for some reason they started buying them pre-made, and they just haven't been good since. Man, first of all, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's first of all.
That's the first thing.
First of all, I don't care. Right?
This is small
Second
talk.
Of all,
this isn't even small talk. This is like microscopic.
Bruh. Right. And here's the thing. This is why it was a while ago on the show we were talking about cultural food and blah, 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 blah. And I specifically said, when you try to make food from a culture that is not your own, if you try to act like you're being authentic and you're not, that's bad. Yes. However, different people have different taste buds. Different people have different things.
They might like.
I can make something that is historically Italian and put my own twist on it.
Right.
And I'm not claiming that I'm making something Italian.
Exactly.
That's not what I'm doing. I'm making food that I like to eat.
Yeah. And you're not doing it specifically because happens to I'm making Italian. No, I like
right. No, I happen to like meatballs. Like what?
Right.
I happen to like spaghetti. Like what? Man.
No. But the fact that this is quantum realm talk, right? It's that small. It's literally building blocks of reality talk. It's not something that why? Because you don't like the silence.
Yeah. Also the Italian thing.
Oh well, yeah, probably that too.
So I mean, listen, some people might hear me say this. Absolutely, McKenna. She said this is inspired by rather than authentic or valid too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, this might sound silly to some people if you happen to have stumbled across this podcast and you aren't actually a listener, because we tend to do things in good faith on here. But if you actually stumbled across and this is your first time listening and you hear what I'm about to say, you might think I'm crazy, because I have not had enough conversations with her where she does this, but her sister that works with Marcus absolutely does. Every opportunity that they get, they mention their Italian. Again, this one I hadn't really experienced that with, but the sister absolutely. This is the first time I had this one say this. Now that might sound a little weird coming from me, a person who wears a mask every day that says "addicted to black."
That's true.
A person who helped name the podcast that you're listening to, Black Culture Geeks. Yeah. So maybe I get it, but if you don't understand why that's different, I can't help you. Yeah. It's nothing I can do for you. Really? McKenna said you can change things to fit your taste buds. That's how literally everyone's old family recipe started that they think of as authentic. That's facts.
Right.
That's facts. So yeah, that was annoying. All right, let's get into these.
And that's the other thing too, Cindy. It's a bit of a try hard.
It is, man. Like yo, first of all, nobody fucking asked you.
Nobody asked you, and you found a way.
You did all that.
Italian meatballs. Listen, Nigerians eat the jollof
Bro.
Rice, right? So imagine a Nigerian coworker of yours will see the rice that you're eating and then find a way to make it about the jollof rice. Right. Like, chill, bro. Like, chill. It might be interesting to me in the moment, but also may not be. It's just rice. I'm eating rice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So first off, I'm not going to give him credit because I feel like this is the bare minimum. But this is an example of how you're supposed to do what he did. So years ago, well, all right, on Twitter, there's this woman, Midnight Persona. She is a cosplayer, and she made a post. And in her post, she said, "Today I was reminded how 20 years ago, how years ago, a black man made fun of me on his very popular YouTube channel for cosplaying Chun-Li, putting me in his, quote, funny video reel, dubbing me, quote, Chunk Lee, and caused me to never want to cosplay her again."
Oh, that's not cool, sir. That wasn't cool.
Well, the person in question, Kevin Fredericks, a.k.a. Kev on Stage. Now, this blew up, right? Because she didn't, apparently, I kind of find this a little bit disingenuous, but I feel like in this situation, she had a little bit of right to be disingenuous. She claims she didn't know his name. I find that hard to believe. But, again, given what he did to you, I ain't really mad about you doing that. But come on now. But anyway, it went viral. Kev on Stage.
I mean, in her defense, I didn't know who Kev on Stage was until you introduced me to him. So
right. But erasing that, he didn't make a video about you. It's not just that he's famous.
Right.
You're specifically talking about a video he made about you.
Yeah. You're right. It's true. Facts.
Yeah. So Kevin found this post, and this is how he responded. He said, "Hello, Midnight Persona. I saw your post on Twitter, and I would like to personally apologize for making that video. It's embarrassing to see what I thought passed for being funny back then, so I can only imagine how those hurtful words landed on you then. I hate your description of me as a bully, an idiot, and a troll." Let me land.
I'm sorry. This shit was hilarious. I hate that.
I hate that your description of me as a bully, idiot, and troll was absolutely correct. I was. Thankfully, I am not the same person now, but I want to apologize for who I was. I was making 3 to 4 videos a day, trying to build my following, and wasn't thinking of the actual people who could have been hurt by my words. I have since learned more about fat phobia, misogyny noir, intersectionality, and being anti-Black. I have matured in many of those aspects with much more to learn, but that does not negate how that video made you feel. And for that, I'm truly sorry. I am happy that in spite of my video and hurtful words, you have continued to build your platform and have found success. I sincerely apologize again and hope you can accept my apology.
Hey, Gems.
Thanks.
That's how you do
Thanks. That is how you apologize. Now, again.
And by the way, Gems, keep our babies out your mouth.
Facts.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yo, that is how you apologize.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that every apology has to be as lengthy as that.
No.
Because
it was more about the content,
right,
of what he was saying,
right,
rather than
that is how you apologize. Does it absolve him? No, and he's not trying to be.
He's not trying to be absolved for it, right?
That's not what's happening. I absolutely apologize. I absolutely apologize for me doing it. Right. I apologize for how it made you feel,
how it affected you,
and all of that. Like, and I'm happy that it didn't stop you
from doing what you
did. This is how you apologize. Again, this is not to praise Kev on stage. This is to show an example of how this shit is supposed to be
standard.
This should be
especially if you have really changed. If like I don't think that way anymore. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, and I don't want people to feel that way. Yo, there certain people are without shame. And because of that, they won't acknowledge any of that, but I like how you did that. Yeah, I really do. Yeah. And like you said, it's standard. It's not.
Yeah, it should be.
That should be standard.
Yeah. I was watching one of his podcasts and he mentioned it. No, it was he put a video up about it, like a specific video.
Okay.
On his Patreon, and he was like, "Listen, even there,
right,
still apologetic." He explained, like, "Look, this happened. This absolutely happened. I don't want y'all attacking nobody because y'all might see them attacking me." Yeah,
and that happens too. That happens too with the fan base. Because
nigga.
Yeah.
There were some terrible responses.
I can guarantee.
In this young lady's replies. Yeah. And I'm like, y'all are toxic as fuck.
But see, here's the thing about that. And that's one of the things about when you do get a following. It's sad to say, but when your following gets beyond a certain amount of people, you're going to have peppered throughout that shit some very, very horrible people.
Also, what I want pointing out is you can't control them.
No, you can't. The only thing you can do is what he did. Is take accountability for what he did.
Facts.
And like the people, like people get jammed up with this too. They'll get a following, and because this following is very loyal to them and is willing to go crazy on the motherfucker that criticized them, they lean into it.
Yeah,
they lean into it.
Care of my light work.
Yeah, like I know that I had a nice following for a nice amount of years, and I know those people in there that was wanting to do that. But I'm not going to put. First of all, I don't want to put them in the middle. This is shit I did.
Right.
This shit I did. And if I'm feeling like that I need to make this apology, I'm going to do that regardless of what y'all think about this, because I feel so weird. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the show, you notice all this time
ain't really too much.
Right? Because to be honest with people, media training ain't that hard.
Right.
It's really not. It's really not that hard. Like, stay out of the mud.
Exactly, McKenna. She said, I like that it wasn't basically my bad, I'll never do it again. It was, I absolutely I was absolutely at the wrong, and I'm trying to actively learn and do better.
Do better. That's it.
Thanks. Yeah. And I'm not finished. No, I'm still learning.
Yeah, I'm still learning. So I'm still gonna make mistakes. See, that's also future proofing. Yeah, because you know you're gonna make mistakes before. And if you act like with this post that I am completely this, that, and third, then when the shit happens, people say, "But I thought you said Gems."
Gems. So
yeah,
this next story. All right. So it kind of goes a little bit with what you were saying earlier about celebrities, but it's not really necessarily about celebrities. It is the idea of Issa Rae famously said, "I'm rooting for everybody black." The idea of protect all black women. These ideas, right? These ideas are blanket statements, and the purpose is to show some type of solidarity.
Yep. But the purpose
However,
is not to excuse
it is not a blanket
right
absolution.
right.
You individual people. I know that some of y'all were joking when y'all said this when we talked about the Titan, and Discord was like, "Well, you know, ain't no women on there." I know that was a joke, but some people actually be like, "No, it's not possible that a woman could have." Yeah, no, because she's still human, and humans are still dumb as fuck.
Yes, they are. They are.
Speaking of dumb as fuck, I first heard about this in passing at work. Right. All I heard was somebody say, "Yeah, that girl that found that baby on the side of the highway." It sounded stupid. It sounded stupid. I didn't stop to be nosy about their conversation. Again, I wasn't in the conversation.
Right.
No, fast forward, I saw some videos on TikTok. There were a bunch of videos of black women fussing about black people, quote, taking back their prayers, and how, quote, it's clear y'all didn't want her found alive.
No, nigga, we not doing that.
Wait.
We not doing that.
I just kept seeing video after video after video, so I eventually started watching them. Then, after that, the press conference from the police department came out. Funnily enough, I didn't see any update videos from any of those people who were bashing the people who were skeptical. Then her lawyer put out an official statement. Now, this is just another example of lacking nuance. Like I said before, when I get on here and I say protect black women or believe all victims or any of those blanket statements, that is not an endorsement of throwing away discernment.
Right.
That is a blanket, surface level benefit of doubt.
Right.
But when evidence starts to pile up, you are supposed to pay attention to it.
Well, evidence. See, but you know what the problem with your statement right there, SPJ?
Evidence.
The problem with people don't be respecting evidence, and people don't like facts.
That's facts.
They don't like facts. They don't like facts. It. I've been dealing with that for years now. They don't like it. They don't like it. They don't like it.
So let's talk about the elements. And if I get anything wrong, and anybody knows that I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. Like always, we don't do that over here. I'm going to talk about these things critically and try my best to ignore hindsight and speak in a pseudo real time type of thing.
Yeah.
All right. So she called 911 about a baby. She called 911 about a baby being on the side of the road. From the jump, just the idea that the story was not a missing woman and baby kind of gives me a couple feelings. That's just from the jump. Because if I'm driving and I see a baby on the road, I'm not calling 911 first.
No, the first thing I'm doing is stopping to get the kid.
That part. So, but in her defense, maybe, again, this is real time. I'm not talking about me knowing the outcome.
Right.
In real time, in her defense, maybe she's one of those people who is uniquely aware or paranoid, because both true, about the dangers of being by herself as a black woman. Also the sick fuck who took her could have used the baby as bait.
It's a lure.
So that isn't the reddest of flags, but it raises an eyebrow. Right? Then the next info that I know is that she came back home on her own and she ran through the woods. And when she came out the other side, she was at her house. This is the point in the saga where we were, when I started seeing all those TikToks that I was talking about. Why were
to your point, what McKenna just said right here. Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Facts.
absolutely.
Facts.
Absolutely. This is the point where I start seeing those TikToks. Why were people mad at her? Because it doesn't make any fucking sense. See, people who are abducted don't typically get released without some kind of ransom or whatever the case may be. Yeah. And they definitely don't get released close to their houses. These stories generally end one of a few ways. The person is never seen again. The person is found dead.
Right.
The predators get caught.
Right.
I don't think I need to tell y'all which one is more common, though. Right? All right.
Especially after a certain amount of time.
Right. Okay. I would make an argument that this is the type of blind loyalty that betrays us as a people over and over and over again. And I'm not just talking about loyalty to others who look like us.
Yeah, I would also argue we can't have both.
Bruh.
It's if we are really all that blind loyal, we wouldn't have some of the stuff that we have going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
facts. So I digress a little bit. Then there comes the press conference. So the officers stopped short of saying that she lied.
Right.
But what happened was the equivalent of me walking in from outside with wet clothing and a wet umbrella and not mentioning to you that it's raining.
Right.
It's not necessary. You get the point from the context. This woman was on the phone with 911 for 2 minutes when she had claimed she found.
Now I hear you, keep going.
Okay. She was on the phone with 911 for like 2 minutes when she had claimed she found a baby. Over that time period, she moved about 600 yards. Now, either she encountered the world's fastest and most coordinated 3-year-old, or she's too stupid to realize that when your call and GPS info is trackable. I'm gonna go with the latter. I'm pretty sure she just didn't realize that. Mind you, after this press conference, people were still attacking people who were saying that she lied. After the press conference,
they were. No, they 100% were. I seen it.
Yeah. The only thing worse than her being so stupid is how smart she thought she was.
That's usually the problem right there.
Bruh, here's a timeline, right? Here's a full timeline. I guess I'll read the intro to the article. Police investigators in Hoover, Alabama put together a timeline of the roughly 50 hours during which Carlethia Russell, a 25-year-old
said toddler Usain Bolt.
Bruh. A 25-year-old nursing student was purportedly missing after she called 911 last week from the side of a highway. Quote, "We pretty much know exactly what took place from the time she left work until the 911 call," unquote. Russell briefly recounted her ordeal to investigators after she returned home on the night of Saturday, July 15th, 2 days after reported missing. On the 24th, she released a statement through a lawyer admitting she had made the story up. On July 28th, she was charged with 2 misdemeanors for falsely claiming she was kidnapped. Here's what we know. This is the timeline.
What do we know?
On Wednesday, the police listed some very strange online searches that Russell made in the days leading up to her disappearance.
Interesting.
The search queries included July 11th at 7:30 a.m. Do you have to pay for an Amber Alert? Whoa. July 13th, 1:03 a.m. How to take money from a register without being caught.
Whoa.
July 13th, 2:13 a.m. Birmingham bus station. July 13th, 2:35 a.m. One-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville with a departure date of July 13th. July 13th, 12:10 p.m. She Googled the movie Taken.
Oh, man.
Before the 911 call. Thursday, July 13th, 8:20 p.m. Russell left her workplace in Birmingham about 10 minutes from Hoover at around 8:20 p.m. local time. She then ordered food from a nearby business at the Colonnade shopping mall and picked it up. She stopped at a Target on Highway 280 to buy some granola bars and Cheez-Its. That's important to this story. She stayed in the parking lot until 9:21 p.m., according to police. 9:34 p.m., she called 911 to report a toddler on the highway, saying she had stopped to check on the boy, police said. While she was on the phone with the dispatcher about the toddler, she traveled in her car about 600 yards, the distance of about 6 football fields. 9:36 p.m., after the 911 call, which lasted less than 2 minutes, Russell called a family member. Quote, she went missing during that conversation sometime after 9:36 p.m., unquote. The family member on the phone with Russell lost contact with her during the call, but the line remained open. Russell's mother then called the police and said Russell had been on the phone with a relative and that relative had heard Russell scream. Hoover officers arrived on the scene within 5 minutes of being dispatched. Russell was gone, but officers found her car, her cell phone, a wig, and her purse. Her Apple Watch was in the bag, but the snacks that she
Apple was involved somehow.
Shut up. But the snacks that she had purchased at Target were not in the car or on the scene. After returning home, Russell gave investigators her account of what happened on the night of July 13th. She said a man came out of the woods and mumbled that he was checking on the child. She said, according to the police, Russell told officers the man then forced her over a fence and into a car. Now, real quick, I could be wrong. If anybody knows that I'm wrong, correct me.
Okay.
On a 911 call, she told the dispatcher that she hadn't gotten out of her car.
That's what she said.
She said, I didn't get out of my car, but I can see the baby.
I remember that as well.
I can still see the baby. Okay. Russell said the next thing she remembers is being in the trailer of a truck with the man who Russell said had orange hair and was accompanied by a woman. She also says she could hear a baby crying. Russell told police she escaped, but was recaptured and put into a car and blindfolded. Russell says she was then taken to a house where she was undressed. The next day, she said, the woman fed her cheese crackers. Again, she bought them Cheez-Its. Fed her cheese crackers and played with her hair. Russell said at some point she was put back into a vehicle. She claimed she was able to escape while it was in the West Hoover area and ran through the woods to get home. A massive search was launched after Russell was reported missing. The search involved local, state, and federal agencies. A large group of volunteers organized by Russell's parents also assisted in the search effort. On Saturday, Hoover police released a new photo of Russell in an effort to drum up more leads, and a reward totaling at least $50,000 was offered for her safe return, which included $20,000 from an anonymous source, $5,000 raised by Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama, and $25,000 from real estate company Keller Williams. July 15th, 10:45 p.m., she returned home on foot about 49 hours after she went missing. Police received a call at around 10:45, notifying them of her return. Officers and medics responded, and Russell was taken to a hospital for evaluation. The investigation is not over, the police chief said at that time. We're still working on this case, and we're working this case until we uncover every piece of evidence that helps us account for the 49 hours that Carlee Russell was missing. Notice that he said, we are trying to account for the 49 hours that she was missing. Mm-hmm. He didn't mention her being taken in that statement. He didn't. Right. Monday, July 24th, the lawyer emailed a statement to the police, which was read by the police. The statement reads, my client did not see a baby on the side of the road. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward. Understanding she made a mistake in this matter, Carlee again asks for your forgiveness and prayers. Police said they're meeting with the district attorney's office about the charges. Yesterday, she was charged with false reporting to law enforcement and falsely reporting an incident, both misdemeanors that carry up to a year in jail. She voluntarily turned herself into law enforcement and was booked and processed. She was released on a $1,000 bond for each of the charges. So, I kind of feel like, now, this is a part that was not in the article.
Before you go into that,
mm-hmm.
What do you think her goal was here?
That's what I was about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say. So I saw an article. At some point, like after she returned, where her boyfriend was saying to her, like not to her, saying
former.
Well, no, at the time.
Oh yeah, okay.
Her boyfriend was saying,
he broke up with her.
"No, trust. Like she's been through traumatic stuff. Blah blah. This.
I remember
leave
that.
her alone.
I remember.
And then a couple of days later, he had been now ex-boyfriend talking about how upset he was about the situation. What I think was happening is she was hooking up with somebody else. This is what I think, my personal opinion. No evidence. This is just from the stuff that happened makes me think this. She was hooking up with somebody else and didn't want her boyfriend to know. I really think it was just that simple. And
she turned something very simple into
she blew it up. A lot of people were saying attention, but
it's possible. But
it's possible.
I think,
but I hate that we just blame everything on attention.
Because truth be told, it reminds me of when they say, "Oh, they wanted us to wear the mask just because they wanted to show us that they could control it." There's nothing. There's no value in any of that. There's no value in
There's not an actual through line.
It makes no sense.
And when I say she was hooking up with somebody else, I don't mean like she was just like, I think maybe potentially she was moving away with someone else.
Could be. Why come back though?
I guess something happened that. All right, so I kind of like, this is again 100% speculation. Like, you ever been in a situation, not necessarily romantically, just any situation where you thought you wanted to do something and you made plans towards doing this thing with another person, and you get around that person for a little bit of time, and then you think like, yo, maybe this isn't the best idea. Like, maybe I shouldn't actually go through with this.
You think that's probably what it was?
She was gone for 49 hours. It's not like she was gone for a day.
That's true.
And showed back up.
That's true.
I feel like maybe she was still thinking about going through with this particular thing, and then it just didn't happen. Also, I want to point out, this is a college-educated woman.
Well, American college ain't what it used to be.
That part. She's an AKA. This is what, because I saw somebody, goddamn Charlamagne Fraud, talking about this is some type of plot by somebody to devalue and blah blah this, because why did this particular one get all this? It got all of this partially because she was an AKA, and AKAs have connections, and the woman that does the news on the Breakfast Club now, she corrected him. She was like, "No, this was different. Yeah, this was different than any of these other ones. This one, there were people." She said, "No, there were people that I know, journalists that I know, that were like, all right, no, we got to take this one serious, blah, 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 blah." So, like, no, cut it out.
See, and here's the thing, my friends. There's been a lot of work towards getting people to have more of an awareness that a lot of times Black women aren't being respected.
Facts.
Aren't being considered.
Facts.
Aren't being treated in a manner that shows they have some value, some worth.
Correct.
A lot of work has gone on to bring that to the attention of the people. Not just people outside our community, but people inside our community. A lot of that work, when somebody does some shit like this, because of the way we get painted with this huge brush, when it's a small percentage of people that are doing actual shit, it stands to erase a lot of that work. Clock backwards.
I'm so happy you said that, because that was my next point. I mentioned before, I can't remember what we were talking, what subject it was on the show, when I talked about Van Lathan, and I expressed how Van is, I think Van is necessary.
Van is necessary.
And a part of this might seem contradictory as to why I think he's necessary. I think Van is necessary because he doesn't always get it right.
That's it.
He doesn't always get it right. And there are times when he doesn't get it right that he's unaware that he didn't get it right. And I think that's necessary because I don't think that, because he has a very strong voice. And I don't think that we should feel like it's similar to the whole your heroes have no power.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we should feel like, as strong as his voice is and as right as he be about a lot of this shit. It's important for us to see his flaws so we can understand that it's not just, oh, Van said, so it must be.
Yeah.
On this topic,
it allows people to exercise their critical analysis.
Yes. On this topic, him and his co-host for his podcast, Rachel. Rachel mentioned the very thing you just mentioned, because there were a bunch of people online fussing, saying, this is going to make it harder for them to believe us. This is going to make it harder for them to do something about this particular thing. And Van vehemently fought back against this. He's like, no.
What up, sis?
What up? He was like, no, that's bullshit. And here's why. He did that thing that we talk about where you have something you want to talk about and you find something that has a very, very loose connection to it.
It's a loose connective tissue.
You just go off.
Yeah.
You just go off. He's like, no, this gives them an argument. This gives them an excuse to not do their job. No, Van. Saying that they won't take things as seriously because something was turned out to be a fraud is not the same thing as excusing them for not taking it seriously because this thing happened. They're two very different things. And the argument he was making was a valid argument.
Right.
It just wasn't for this topic.
Yeah.
He was basically saying that's their fucking job. They get paid to do this thing. They need to do this thing. Yes, man. We understand that. That's not what she said.
And also, Van fucks with you. But here's the thing. And we've been actually trying to get people to understand this for a while. And a lot of us do, especially over the last few years. The power of narrative.
Bruh.
See, you don't get the civil rights stuff without the power of narrative.
Correct.
Getting people to accept a framing of something. It's not just that you have the facts on your side, but you have the presentation of the facts that is convincing to people. And that comes with narrative and framing.
Yeah.
You have to do that, especially to convince people who have a predisposition to say, you're not important. Why should I listen to you? Right? This is the case with this. Okay. Narrative does fucking matter. It's more than just the fact that technically in the list of things they have to do for their duties and responsibilities, this is their job. Right. No, listen, narrative trumps all of that, because there are plenty of things where it's absolutely someone's job to do that they don't do.
Oh, he was absolutely obtuse in this, because she came back after because at first she was confused as fuck. But after he started explaining a little bit more, she's like, okay, I see what's happening. She was like, but you're talking, she said to him, you're talking about the system.
Yes.
And what these people are paid to do, what their job is. We're talking about individuals. Individuals in the system can make up their mind, oh, no, these people lie about this type of stuff all the time.
And they do it all the time.
Right. And it's easy for an individual to not put in as much effort as they would have otherwise, because they have a preconceived notion.
Van was completely out to lunch on this particular part of it, because this is literally the argument about systemic racism. Yeah. When people say, well, we got laws now, bruh, so the fuck what? You got the laws changed, but there are people in these positions that feel a certain type of way. And because they feel a certain type of way, they are not above prioritizing how they feel about it to do a little less
Yeah.
than they should do, or to ignore things that they shouldn't according to their responsibility now, but they feel a way about it. And the whole narrative framing thing, that is the thing that gets them to see, oh, actually, this makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And you got people that are disingenuous,
mm-hmm.
who don't want to do it in the first place. Don't want to do it in the first place. Have these opinions anyway, and they use shit like this as examples to frame narratives and framing and all that other shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
what's up, Ruth?
The idea, what's going on? The idea that this shouldn't have that effect is absolutely true.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
But it's not. It's idealism. You're doing that thing.
No, that's it.
That's it. And I hate that shit with a passion. All right, I forgot to do this. Real quick. Dumbass of the week. So it's happened again where I talk about something on here,
right,
and then it manifests itself in my life. I spoke on the last episode. I talked about the word cis.
I saw that shit, McKenna, and yeah, we're gonna get into that at some point too. Maybe not this show, but we're gonna talk about that because that need to be talked about.
Oh yeah, that dumb shit. God damn it. This is how you know it's almost time for the show to be over, because Tim gets cut off for some reason. It's the weirdest thing. I don't understand why it happens the same exact time, and it's not time dependent. It's how long he's been on the show, I guess, because we started early. We started about 10-15 minutes early, so I'm not really sure. Now I'm really confused. At one point, actually, no, that didn't make sense either. But originally, I was thinking at this time every Saturday that something just happened. Like maybe there was some type of system that he has set up that he don't know about that makes this happen. But now this wasn't a time thing. This was a duration thing. We started early today.
We did.
So I'm confused. I'm really anyway. So I stumbled across this post from someone on my friends list.
Mm-hmm.
Post says, I've had this conversation with 3 different people this week, and I hope I can say this and not offend anyone. Pause.
You can't.
When you say that, you already know the answer. Like, there's no reason to ever say this. Like, you have a better chance of no offense, but
right.
that makes more sense than saying this.
Or saying I don't mean no offense, but
right. Mm-hmm. Like, all right, so I love everyone and can respect them as who they truly are.
Mm-hmm.
Again, as I'm reading this and going sentence to sentence,
you're saying you're saying the
like I see where this is heading. Whatever it is you tell me you are. Third sentence, and it's a wall. I respect you and what you want. The LGBTQ community has been fighting so hard for equality and respect. Lives have been lost, humans humiliated, not protected by anyone. Then there was progress. Slowly but surely, this world is becoming so accepting of the idea that people can be who they want to be, and it's okay. But at some point,
it's okay, yeah.
But at some point, the movement became bullying. Some people have lost sight of the idea that no one has to like you or your lifestyle. It is about equality and respect. As long as you mind your business, I'm going to mind mine. You don't have to like or agree with my lifestyle. Just don't disenfranchise or hurt me because you don't. I will respect what everyone wants for themselves, but you do not need to change anything about me in your process. I am a woman. I don't need an extra label, and I don't want one. Just as I respect your struggle, respect mine. I am 33, and I have been calling myself a strong Black woman for as long as I can remember. Through the abuse, neglect, sexual assault, homelessness, abandonment, poor mental health, and all that type of trauma, I knew I could make it through because I would tell myself, you are a strong Black woman. That works for me. That knowledge keeps me going. I do not tell anyone what they are. Do not tell me what I am. I will tell you, I am a woman, a strong Black woman. I don't need an extra label because you do. If your pronouns make you feel good, respect the fact that mine have always made me feel good. I won't take that away from myself. Fuck you. Because, and that's why I made the post that I made.
I know.
And let me read that for the people because everybody's not on my Facebook. In direct response, because I know this person sees my posts. I said just some information for those who claim to be supportive, and I left the link. And the screenshot that I left says, "Take home message: the prefix cis comes from Latin, meaning on this side, as opposed to trans, which means on the other side of
That's all it means.
In chemistry, the prefix cis is added to the name of a molecule when two atoms or groups are situated on the same side of a plane of symmetry, passing through the molecule like a double bond between two carbon atoms. In molecular biology, a cis-acting element regulates a neighboring gene when it binds to a trans-acting element." So what made this particularly egregious?
Right, McKenna, right.
Right. What made this particularly egregious is we went to school together.
So that means y'all went to city.
Now, hold on.
Could you please explain to the people here who don't live in Baltimore, never been to Baltimore, the significance of the fact that you went to city?
All right, there's two prongs when it comes to this particular situation. One, at least back when we went, I don't know now because I don't have children. I don't stay up on this. Right. At least back when we went, we were in the top at least 100, maybe 50 high schools in the country.
Right.
Y'all know we got 50 states. So that's pretty big.
Yeah.
We went to the school. So the information was available. But second, and possibly more egregious, because even if you were the top 500, if the second fact is true, then at Baltimore City College High School, a required course that you have to take, and I believe your ninth grade year, I don't know if you had to do it in ninth grade, but I did it in ninth grade, is Latin. You cannot graduate without taking Latin. We didn't even say the pledge in English. We said the pledge in Latin. Ma'am, you graduated from this school, so I know you took Latin.
Come on, bro.
What are we doing here?
I'm going to tell you what we're doing. So, once again, there's been an effort. And I don't know who started it. I don't know if it's organic, and then people are taking advantage of it to cause enmity between two marginalized groups. Because for the longest time, women were very supportive with the LGBTQ.
Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. She is also a part of the LGBTQ community.
Wow. I can tell you this much. A lot of the really toxic, garbage people who create content specifically to cause controversy because they know that helps them in the algorithm. So they say some of the most egregious bullshit they can think to say to get people to get their attention. Because for them, all attention is good attention, right? These same people have been using this thing to try to put this little wedge in here. They trying to replace you. It's not lost on me that some of the same people that are saying they trying to replace you are running around here talking about how Latin people trying to replace them and Jewish people trying to replace them.
I hate Mike. Right,
Yo, Mike.
Let me clear a couple things up. Right. I want to be 100% honest because I try to be this with everything. Even the people that we talk shit about, I try my best to not exaggerate, to say whatever the good is, or whatever the case would be. All right, so first of all, Mike said you have to speak Latin to graduate. Not speak it. You don't have to speak it, but you have to pass the class.
To his point, I went to dumbass Emerson, right? Emerson High School. And I passed a bunch of Spanish classes. Didn't have to speak it, but I could pass the test. I recognized the words. Oh, that means that.
Like now, is there a test or two that are oral? Sure. Right? But you don't have to ace those particular tests to pass the class overall.
Right.
Like, yes, there is.
Yo, why Marissa say is her name
That's
Uncle
funny.
Ruckus?
That's so funny. To who said it? Discord. To Discord's point. No, she's not a TERF. And that's the dangerous part about this. Because she's not the type of person that you would expect this type of thing. It goes back to what I said earlier. Because something is true in a vacuum does not mean you have to apply it.
That's true.
To every situation. Is it true that you are a woman? Absolutely. And I'm sorry, to clear the other thing up. Me saying that she took Latin is not, I want to be clear, it's not me saying that she should automatically have known what cis means. That's not the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is you took Latin, so you are uniquely aware of the influence that it has had on our language.
Yes.
You understand that Latin was the father to the Romantic languages, and then how English is pieced together from this language and that language and this language. And on the last show, I went over some words that we use verbatim, not translated, not derivatives of words that are Latin words, and we use them in the
our
same
language
definition.
with the same definition.
Right. And the reason I mentioned the LGBT
exactly,
thing,
sis. Exactly. She should be able to discern the root.
Absolutely, sis. That is the point with that. With the LGBTQ AI plus thing, I mentioned that not because if you are that, you have to accept and believe and agree with everything, but because you are that, you should be aware of similar struggles.
Exactly.
That is like, these things aren't, when I say these things, these aren't one-to-ones. These, you know what's funny about that, Mike?
Hardcore.
I still can say some of the pledge. I have forgotten most of it because fuck that pledge.
Right.
So I'm out of practice with it. But
I mean, sometimes you hold on to shit. Like I know for
if I tried hard, I could probably recite a good portion.
I'm pretty sure I could still do the Shahada, the official baptism of Islam. If I thought about it long enough.
Right.
If I thought about it long enough, I would get the first phrase, and then the second, and then the third, and before you know it, that muscle memory, wow, you know.
I just a couple bars. It's like Fidem meum obligo, Vexillo, Civitatium American. Like it's that whole type of thing. And we had to do the whole thing.
That sounds like some Harry Potter shit you was over there. Spiritus.
And the funny thing is, like, I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know who started this tradition or how long it went on, but like at the end, the last word is omnibus for all. So we would yell omnibus, like it's just so stupid. But anyway, all right. So
that reminds me actually of the TV show Supernatural when they would do the exorcisms. They would always end with "Audi nos." And they would always say that part the loudest word.
All right. 2 more things. We're gonna do a topic and we're gonna do that, my asshole. Because I have another all right. Okay. All right. This is what we're gonna do. So we talked about this. What it actually works that we don't have a lot of time to do it because it works in what my actual idea behind it is. So a few weeks ago, I can't remember the actual topic we were talking about, but I mentioned something that happened in that episode of that podcast with Van Lathan again, that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't tell to him what it was. And he said, wait. So this is going to be kind of a first. We don't generally talk about topics where we aren't commenting on the topic itself.
Right.
So we're not commenting on the actual subject of the topic. We're more so commenting on how the shit was handled. Because this shit was handled stupidly. All right, so that original piece that I was going to talk about at the beginning of their show, kind of like ours, they do banter, just random banter.
Yeah.
Before they get into the topics. And there was an issue because, again, Van Lathan, Rachel Lindsay, I believe is her last name.
I think it's Dolezal. No.
Shut up. I hate you so much. Rachel Lindsay, I believe. So on that episode, in their preamble, they were talking, and she had mentioned how she had been getting comments on Twitter from people that were saying to her that she had no right, or it wasn't just, it was that and something else, I can't remember the other thing, to talk about Black love because she herself was not in a Black relationship. She was in a relationship, interracial relationship.
Right.
And the analogy that I gave was, listen, you are still Black. You are still Black. You didn't stop being Black because you're in an interracial relationship.
Nope.
However, if you are a car salesman and you drive an Audi, I don't really, it's hard for me to believe you trying to sell me a Toyota. It's just
maybe you can't afford an Audi.
I mean, right, but then you would have a Nissan.
That's true.
Because Nissan and Audi,
that's
Toyota's
true.
Lexus.
Sure.
So if you drive a Lexus and you try to sell me a Toyota, all right, cool. I understand that. That makes sense to me. But if you're driving an Audi, I don't. Why? What? You clearly can afford it because you're driving an Audi.
Right.
So you chose not to drive a Nissan.
Right.
Because you could have. You chose not to drive a Nissan or sell Nissans. You chose to sell Toyotas, but not drive a Toyota or a Lexus.
Right.
Like, what? So it's not that you don't have the right to do it. It's not that you could possibly not have very valid points.
Absolutely.
It's just, it hits the ear wrong when you're trying to tell me about the virtues and the benefits of this particular thing that you chose not to participate.
Not to do, right.
So
now, what she has said in that same thing was that she has been in relationships with Black men before. So maybe she's saying that to say, I have past experience with that I could share with this. But if you're talking about
if you're
extolling the virtues of it, right, the virtues of it, it's kind of hard to hear that.
Then after that, I was going to not bring it up, but then I watched the video that Tim's referencing. They called it the Summit of the Sexes. Now, in the beginning, I don't know if you watched the beginning because I gave you the timestamp.
No, I didn't.
But in the beginning, it's Van and Rachel sitting there, and they're talking about the reason they named it the Summit of the Sexes and not the Battle of the Sexes, which is usually.
Oh, yeah, I did see that part. I saw that.
Okay. She said the reason that they did that is because they would rather this be a real actual conversation that people can actually learn from and not people being at each other's throats.
Guess what, though? That didn't.
When they got to the interracial dating part, they were at each other's throats. And the way that they talked about this particular topic,
it was bad.
Was objectively bad.
It was bad.
It was objectively bad. Like, you have this one woman saying, yeah, I date everybody because in LA, if you only date Black men, that's not going to work out for you.
Right.
So when the other guy, the guy on the other side says something about, what did he say? He said something about a potential benefit of interracial dating. She was so ready to combat him,
to attack
that she's like, "What are the benefits? Ma'am, You just gave us what you perceive to be
a benefit. Right.
What are you talking about? And then another example of him having the steak but not the sizzle, because you have the facts,
let that sizzle when you
but you're just not doing it right. Like he's talking about how, because the ladies brought up that growing up, we our generation, we heard a lot of this black man married this white woman, a lot of that the famous black men.
Yeah, famous.
And Van shot back with, yeah, but every black man that you looked up to was married to a black woman. Yeah. Like, not just the famous ones, the ones you actually looked up to for one reason or another.
Right.
Most of them were married to black women. In fact, the vast majority of people, it's just like the crime argument that we
exactly.
These are things of proximity, generally. Yep. So generally, a white person is going to kill, steal from, have sex with, marry, have children with another white person.
Right.
Generally.
Right.
Same with black people, same with Hispanic people, same with,
right.
It's proximity. That is one of the biggest components to it.
Right. Because you can only interact with people that are around you. And if you live like most people here, things are not as integrated as people believe in a lot of these places in the country.
Especially with the people that don't have that much money, which is the majority of the people.
Facts.
The majority of the people who have the least of the money. That's just how that. But anyway,
that's how it works.
The last thing about this particular topic that just pissed me off for how they would. Oh my God. So Van was saying, because the ladies were saying their biggest issue with this is not they feel like you should be able to be in a relationship with anybody you want to be. They said their biggest issue was when you say you're not going to be in a relationship with the people that are in your race.
You refuse to be.
Van pointed out that he sees a lot of black women saying, "Oh, I'm done with black men," or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. Their retort was, "But you have black women right here saying that's not the case." And Van did not push back that's anecdotal evidence. That's anecdotal evidence.
It is
so is his.
Yeah.
But it's much harder to prove that something doesn't exist than it is to find evidence of it existing.
Yeah.
You three might not feel this way, and that's cool. However, when we did this topic on our podcast and I went through the comments, I saw
it was a lot of it. It was a lot of it.
Right. So it's like,
but even with that is deceptive because it's not a scientific.
No, it's not. That's what I said. Even his evidence is
anecdotal from his experience, but the way she talked, the way her response to that, she thought that what she said somehow defeated what he said. No, I've literally seen it, and he's not wrong because I've seen it too. Absolutely. I've seen it too, but I've also seen the other.
Right.
I've also seen the other. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So I don't know what the actual number is, but the last I checked on a lot of this stuff, it is still the vast majority of people still date in the same community. Like the vast majority of people. So there might be a bump up,
sure,
in that amount over the years, but the way the people are making this out to be like it's this huge epidemic of it. It's really. Not really.
Yeah,
not really.
Not really what's going on.
Not really.
All right. Now one more topic and one am I the asshole? Jamie Foxx.
Yo.
Now,
give your explanation. I'll be right because I gotta get comfortable. Do your explanation, and I'll be right back.
All right. So, for those who don't know, Jamie Foxx had been out of the public eye for quite a while. He had suffered a medical incident, and he was hospitalized, and he was out of the public eye. There was no real information coming out about him. There were rumors, there was speculation, but no actual real tangible evidence of anything that was happening with him. Only that we did not see him. His family put out a statement or two about him having some type of medical incident. They did not specifically name it or anything like that. We didn't officially know. I don't believe officially. I don't think we officially knew anything about when it got better, when it got worse, any of that. They pretty much tried to keep all of that under wraps and did a very good job. So much of a good job that people just started making their own shit up. And that's the point, Ruth. We don't really know what happened to him. The prevailing idea is that he had a stroke. And again, we just really don't actually know. Nobody from his camp has actually confirmed that, I don't believe. So, but there were a bunch of media outlets. I hate what can be called a media outlet nowadays, but there are a bunch of media outlets that either made up stories or piggybacked off of made up stories without verifying, without doing their due diligence, without doing their journalistic duty.
You said duty.
Shut the fuck up. So you had a bunch of media. There was some media outlet that put out that he was blind. There was somebody that put out that he couldn't walk. There was somebody that, it was talking heads talking about this is from the COVID vaccine. And like it was a bunch of shit.
Bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. So recently, the last thing that was like not any tangible evidence really, but it started off as a rumor, was that he was out of the hospital,
right,
and that somebody saw him playing basketball or something like that. Then a little bit after that, there was a video that surfaced of someone who looked like him hugging a fan and then getting into a vehicle. And then recently, he put out a video. No, I'm sorry. Before that, he made a post on Twitter, I think, that was promoting the new movie that's on Netflix. They cloned Tyrone, and that was the first time he addressed the cloning, that he was cloned conspiracies. He was like, "No, I'm not cloned, but they did clone Tyrone." Blah blah blah. That whole thing.
Right.
Then he did this video. In this video, he thanked everybody for the well wishes. He thanked his family for keeping the shit private. He explained how this was a very pivotal time for him, and it made him look at things differently because he was almost out of here, and he confirmed he wasn't blind, he could walk, all that stuff. Like, he cut down all the rumors. And the clone thing, he made a joke out of it, but it's Jamie fucking Foxx.
Yeah,
he's a comedian. That's what
he's a comedian.
So what's funny about this, right? Actually, let me read this first. So Ice-T has hit out at people speculating.
Thank you, Ice-T, by the way.
Is now a clone or AI. It comes after the actor posted a video update on his health Friday. You look different after a bad cold. Tweeted Ice-T. Ice-T, blah, blah, blah. The unpredictable singer Jamie Foxx experienced a medical complication while filming his upcoming film, Back in Action. Thank you, everybody that just prayed, man, and sent me messages. Fox said in this video, I cannot even begin to tell you how far it took me and how it brought me back. The Oscar-winning actor did not reveal what the health scare was, but he said he went through something that I went through something that I thought I would never, ever go through. Following his post, people on social media began speculating that it wasn't really Fox in the video and that it was instead a clone or some form of artificial intelligence, mainly because he looked slightly different than before he was ill. Someone says, the Ice-T says, yeah, he called the people weirdos. He said people would rather believe that Jamie is now a clone or AI than the man was just seriously sick and damn near died. Because he doesn't look exactly the same. You look different after a bad cold. Here's the funny thing about this, right? So, I write notes for the show.
Pushed it.
And when I put this link on the docket, I wrote notes under it. The notes that I wrote verbatim are, focal length, color cast, white balance, general lighting, which is affected by type of light in the room, amount of light in the room, size of the sensors, shutter speed, etc. Funny enough, right before we started, I was scrolling Facebook. And as I was scrolling Facebook, I came across this post. I'm not stating any opinions. I'm a photographer. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up because I keep seeing arguments about the shape of Jamie's head.
Oh my!
Jamie Foxx's head is shaped different in that video because of the focal length of the camera he was using. Your front-facing camera is somewhat of a wide angle, so up close, the middle of your face will be bigger. The distortion is normally less flattering than taking a professional portrait, which is normally much tighter. Watch. Next time you take a selfie, zoom in a little bit. By the way, he looks great for someone who almost lost his life 2 months ago. On top of being photographers, and understanding that these things matter. On top of that, he almost died. I'm certain that he lost weight.
He probably had his shit on. His ass was on tubes.
Right.
Okay, so y'all sicken me
to no end.
Occam's razor is the principle often
oh my God.
to 14th century friar William of Ockham that says that if you have two competing ideas to explain the same phenomena, you should prefer the simpler one. So let me see if I understand what you glizzy gobblers did.
Oh God.
Instead of you saying, well, the man was sick, he almost died, he clearly lost weight, not gonna look the same, face gonna be thinner. Hey, we've seen this before.
Yo, hold up. Cindy brings up an amazing point. Also, they're saying without professional
there's no makeup on like in the movies.
Right.
But instead of you picking that, you said scientists.
Audrey's also like 60.
Yeah, he's older than he looks.
Yeah.
You said scientists, tissue, DNA, clone, accelerated aging. You did all of that instead of saying, oh, the man was sick. He obviously lost some weight. He almost lost his life. His head's a little smaller. I've seen you crackheads.
He was in the hospital. You lose color. You didn't have access to the sun.
Bro, I've seen crackheads pre-crack, post-crack. Face get all gone. Nobody said, oh, he a clone.
Nah.
I'm going to need y'all to shut all the fuck up. And this is what y'all do. And this is the thing that infuriates me to no end because I've watched you do this several times. Y'all will say this goofy shit, post it, ridicule those of us that are saying, bro, he was sick, or whatever common sense explanation for the particular thing is. And then as soon as all of the real information comes out, we don't hear y'all talk about it no more. Y'all go hide under a rock or in a cave pretending to be normal and regular like the rest of us. All right? And then you want to have opinions on other things. And what's worse than that, you want us to respect your opinions on other things when your extremely goofy ass went over there and chose scientists, secret lab, DNA, cloning, accelerated aging over he was sick, he lost weight. I've been done with y'all before, but I don't ever think I've been as done with y'all. And then here's the other thing. How come they ain't saying nothing? Well, let me explain to you why they didn't say nothing. That's his personal business and his family's job to protect him. If they didn't want that shit to come out, they ain't had to say a goddamn thing to your ass just because you liked his movies. I like Django too.
Thanks.
Fuck is wrong with y'all?
Y'all
got a problem. And a lot of it, I think the origin of it is just this internet culture and how it's evolved. Y'all feel like y'all gotta
That's part of it. That's
you know what I'm
definitely
saying?
Part of it.
Yeah. Y'all touch grass.
Y'all feel like y'all need to know everything about everything,
about
except the
everything.
things that y'all need to know about.
Bro,
let's focus on that last part. Except the stuff that y'all really need to know about.
Right.
That stuff, it's okay if I don't know that.
We don't need to know. But when I ask your goofy ass who your state senator is, you can't tell me.
Right.
When I ask you
wait. Not even just can't tell me. You can't tell me, and you seem to not have a clue on how you can find out.
Right. Right. When I ask you these things that actually have some import to your life, to how you're getting along, to your standard of living, you can't give me any fucking answers. When I ask you about, hey, here's a question I need to know from you about how your government works. Right. You can't tell me.
Yeah.
When there's a health issue and you get you can't tell me, but you think you're supposed to know about this man's personal medical shit, that his family is dealing with the prospect that they might lose him. And you think they were supposed to get where on Twitter, X, and and give you a play-by-play? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's not.
It is one of the most the funniest, but also sometimes the most infuriating things about the way y'all think about this shit. Cloning, accelerated aging, really? Not that he was sick and lost. Y'all always do this. Y'all always take the window when the stairs are clearly marked.
Yeah.
And then you hide from it. After everything is said and done and the truth of it comes out, I watched you dumb motherfuckers do this in 2012 with the whole Aztec Mayan thing. I watched you motherfuckers do that with the whole 2000. I watched y'all do this shit with the whole 5G and COVID shit. I watch y'all do this all the time. Y'all come up with the most goofiest explanations. You are clearly scientifically illiterate, and y'all stand on it and then ridicule everybody. Y'all just don't know. No, motherfucker, you don't know anything. Obviously. And some of y'all be abusing the privilege of not knowing shit too. Bruh, because
I love that privilege.
Several of those things I mentioned, the same people hit all of those boxes. They thought it was a Mayan thing. No, they thought it was the 2000 crash. They thought the Mayan thing was real. They thought the 5G shit was real. And they thought that Jamie Foxx was a fucking clone. You hitting all them boxes. Y'all been wrong this many times. You know what? The brain that you're using to try to figure this shit out is the same brain that got all them other things wrong.
Yo, Mike said we take the window because the human need to yeet exceeds our will to live. That might actually explain all of it.
That explains everything.
That might actually explain all of it.
This is nuts.
I mean, it is what it is. All right, so one, am I the asshole before we get out of here? Am I the asshole for refusing to forgive a debt that will cost my sister a house? My mother died about 2 months ago. Okay. She didn't leave behind much other than a paid-for house.
No will?
Worth about $180K and a little money in the bank. Mom announced a couple of years ago that she intended to leave her house to my sister, Sarah, who takes care of her severely disabled son full-time. Mom said that she wanted to make sure they had a roof over their heads and the rest of her kids could make it on their own. Sarah does struggle a lot and has said many times that she wouldn't have been able to make it without Mom. When Mom died, she had some bills outstanding, but her biggest debt was that she owed me $37K. I had loaned her the money so that she could fix her plumbing and septic system, as well as making the house more handicap friendly for Sarah and Jeremy, Mom had been paying me back every month. I have paperwork proving the money is owed. Here's the problem. If I file a claim against her estate, like any other creditor would do, my brother my brother John, Mom's executor, will have no choice but to pay it. But to do so, he will have to sell the house since there isn't money in the estate to pay it any other way, which means that Sarah and Jeremy will have to find a different place to live. I know Mom wanted Sarah to have the house. There's also the issue that Mom's will said Sarah got the house, but any money in the estate would be split evenly between the other four of us. So technically, we think that means Sarah wouldn't actually get anything.
That's not, no.
John is talking to a lawyer to make sure he is reading that right. Sarah is also concerned that if she did get a large amount of money, John and I have both said we would give her whatever we got from the house if it does get sold, that it could interfere with the help she gets from the government. John and Sarah are both pushing me to not file a claim against the estate, but if I don't, then the loan basically goes away. Sarah has said that she will pay it back to me and would even sign a new loan. The trouble is that I don't believe her. She has borrowed money before and never paid it back, not because she doesn't want to, but because she can't afford to.
Right.
She struggled with money living with Mom, so it is going to be even worse for her without Mom paying bills in the house as well.
Right.
If I don't file a claim, I will be out $37,000, and that is far.
Her mom was paying. You
know how that goes, and that is far more than I wanted to hand over as a gift, even to my sister. I've told John and Sarah that I am officially filing a claim on Monday morning. They're both calling me a greedy asshole and telling me that I am ignoring what Mom wanted. I think it's unreasonable to expect me to just forget $37K. Am I the asshole?
All right. So, one, I think she's wrong about some of the stuff she said. And she does need to consult a lawyer about this. But a will, only reason I know about this shit is because I have a friend that works at the registry. Mm-hmm. And he is constantly posting about the shit that's happening in court with people and how the will supersedes. It supersedes also. If that will say that house is hers, that house is hers. That house is hers. And that's all the judge gonna say. The judge gonna be like, wait a minute, there's a will? Oh, she gets
there's a will, there's a way.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That will is gonna supersede all that other shit. Now, as far as her putting a claim on there, this is very difficult shit. And typically we'll get something with it's cut and dry, where everybody shares the same moral stance on a certain thing. This is not one of them. Now, that's why I won't say that somebody is wrong if they have a different viewpoint on that. As for me, just speaking for myself, I'm not gonna get her kicked out, and I'm gonna have to eat that $37,000. I gave it to my mom. She passed. I'm going to eat it. That's me. But I can see if somebody else says, "Look, that's too much. I can't. I need to get that back." I hear you, but if you did that, and the result of doing that cost them the house and all that, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
All right. First of all, if I have $37,000 to loan, I am not loaning my mother $37,000.
Yeah,
it's not happening. My mother needs major repairs on her house,
right?
And I have the money to cover the major repairs. I'm going to at least significantly help.
Yeah,
at the very least.
Yeah,
not loan.
Yeah,
help.
That's your mom, man.
That's your mom.
That's your mom, man.
Now everybody don't have a good relationship. They mother, blah, blah,
nope.
blah, blah. Okay,
nope.
Okay,
nope.
Cool. Me personally.
Yep.
I can speak for Tim on this one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have $37,000 to loan because here's the thing. No loan is guaranteed. Even the government don't always get their money back.
That's a fact.
Now they got a very high success rate
because they got teeth.
Right.
They got teeth. They bite your ass. They got teeth.
But a loan is still not a guaranteed return. So No, I'm not loan. I wouldn't be in this position because I'm not loaning my mother $37,000. There's no way. There's no scenario under which.
You realize how much money my mom spent on me over the years?
What?
Nah.
What?
You got to pay me back,
all the working that my mother did while having me stay at my grandparents' house, so she can afford to get a house for us. So we wouldn't be in an apartment building under nobody else.
Like you said earlier, everybody don't have a good relationship with them.
No, everybody don't.
And we are making allowances for that. But we're saying us. Like my mom, I wouldn't be where I am without my mom.
No.
Like, nah.
Anything, I'd probably say anything over $1,000. I'm not loaning my mother.
Yeah, fact.
I might loan my mother $300. Like, right. But it's like it's $1,000 plus. That means that she needed it for something.
Yeah, for real.
I'm not loaning my what? So that's one. Two. Like you said, it's a weird one. Like you said, when she mentioned the whole thing about the house, outside of the will thing, because said, the will it's a legal document.
Yeah,
that's the top of the food.
That's it.
That's it. However, it kind of reminds me of my mother's situation because my grandparents, I don't know if there was a will or not, but I believe their intention was for the house to go to everybody.
Right.
But everybody couldn't afford the house. So again, if the will says that, then that's what it is.
Yeah.
However, and again, also, I don't know if this was a sudden death or not.
True.
Because that matters too.
True.
If in the event that it was not a sudden death and I was in her very same position, I would be making it very clear to my sister, we have to do something other than what, like, you don't have to, because the will is the will.
The will is the will.
You can choose to not do what I'm suggesting.
But if we're family,
we got to do something other than what's in the will.
Yeah.
Like it will go to you, absolutely, because that's what's going to happen.
Right. You
got to make a decision after that because you clearly can't afford this.
Exactly.
And we're gonna just lose the house.
Yeah.
So if that's the route you want to take, ain't nothing I can do to stop you.
But
like, let's be realistic here.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to hold on to this. You never had money. You're broke. You never had money.
Right. Because you're literally full time taking care of your child.
Yeah.
That needs that care. So we got to do something. We got to have some other arrangement.
We got to have some other arrangement.
Something has to happen. Sentiment is cool. I get it. However, we still live in reality.
And there are consequences to reality.
Right.
Yeah.
The reality of it is, if we don't amend this plan, you've just delayed how soon it will be until you're homeless.
Right.
That's literally all that's happening.
Ruth just says, I have a rocky relationship with my mother, and I would just help if I had the money.
Bruh.
You know?
So, all right. So this get into this first comment. You're the asshole for a few reasons here. You refuse to wait for your brother, the executor, to talk to an attorney. That's facts.
That's facts too.
That's fact, which is literally happening in later in the week because she said she was giving them until Monday.
Yeah,
Number two, several people have made outstanding points, like getting a new contract or a lien against the house. You absolutely will not hear out a single word of it, just repeatedly saying she will not pay and I'll never see the money. That's where contracts and liens come in. They are literally there to protect you.
Yeah.
Number three, you state you are quite financially stable right now and that you do not need this money right this second, but you're also unwilling to help find any workarounds for your sister and her multiple children. You're happy to make her homeless.
That's crazy.
Number four, you claim that you and John are willing to give her your shares, but are unsure if the other siblings will, but that it could also screw with the benefits she has to have to take care of her child. So you all are willing to essentially hold on to it and give her as you see fit. And the other two siblings, who realistically shouldn't be getting a dime, but will, if you do this, have said nothing about their shares.
That's crazy, bro.
Number 5, you are willing to make your sister and her children homeless over money that you are not in dire need of right this minute. That's another thing I didn't just another thing I didn't think about. She said it's her sister, her brother John, her, and 2 other siblings. That's 5.
Yes, sir.
He said the house is worth $180,000. Let me do some quick math because
the math ain't math.
I'm trying to understand. 180,000 divided by 5 is $36,000. If the loan was for $37,000 and your mother had been paying you off, then
you just got it.
Selling the house makes you square.
Yes, sir.
So I'm confused as to if you're willing to give your share of the house as a gift, which is $1,000 less than the loan. Ma'am.
Miss ma'am.
What are you? And you said you and your brother are willing. So that's $70,000, $72,000 that y'all gonna give to this homeless woman.
Yeah.
When there's already a house there. See, that changes a little bit for me. Yeah. That changes a little bit for me. In that case, I can't give you really much benefit of the doubt.
Nah, Brody.
You talking out your ass now.
Yeah.
You're talking out your ass now. You willing to give her $36,000, but you're not willing to forgive the loan, which is less than $37,000.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Now, again, there's still the issue of her not being able to afford the house, but that's a different issue.
Right.
The issue we're talking about at hand is her being immediately homeless.
Right.
Like, what? What? Like, it's crazy that the amount of money that we get roughly comes out to exactly how much your loan was, but you're willing to give up that.
And also what Ruth just said about having a disabled child is hard too. Most of the time it's a full-time job. I've seen people do that. Yeah. And that shit. Woo. Woo.
It's like, what are we doing? See,
well, I know what we're doing. We're being ass.
Well, yes, no, you're absolutely an asshole. There's no way around it. I was trying to
give you the benefit, but once you start really digging into it,
once I read and start thinking about it, like, hold up, your share is less, is like
just $1,000
slightly less.
And you also said, like I mentioned earlier, that your mom has started paying already, so it's not exactly $37,000 anymore.
Right. Like,
just saying.
Yeah, for that alone, you're an asshole because, or just. Either way, like
some
kind of asshole, right? You're some kind of asshole.
He's a dumb asshole,
dumb asshole,
right.
Or you're a malicious asshole. One of the two,
right?
Because what? Yeah, what are we talking about?
It's really insane when you think about it, bro. It's really insane. But look, it is what it is.
Yeah,
these people. I'm so done with y'all motherfuckers today. I really am, man. Like this shit, and I know the bad thing about that is. Next week it'll be more shit,
bro.
You know what I'm saying? It'll be more like, how?
It's always.
Is it too much to ask?
Yes. All right.
I ain't gonna finish this shit. I ain't gonna finish that. I ain't gonna finish that shit. We would like to thank all of you once again for joining us on another Saturday of shenanigans.
Yeah.
Where we shenan again.
Yeah. We shenan and then we shenan again. And then
we shenan again. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. You guys, your participation with all of this allows us to continue to do this. It inspires us to continue to do it. And it's just a great Saturday morning cartoon experience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All the time.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out my man Jada Nerd channel.
Absolutely.
Jada Nerd. Be sure to check out my man Super Side Guys podcast, Metas and Mutants.
Absolutely.
Also, do not forget to check out Chrissy's podcast. Heard it through the grapevine.
Absolutely.
Make sure you check that out. If you have not already, subscribe to the Multiple Entertainment channel. If you have not already, go subscribe to the Majestic Comics YouTube channel. If you are interested in any way in helping us continue to run the Majestic Comics company, consider joining our Patreon.
Yeah.
And of course, there is music all the time. There's always music. Always.
Come on.
In fact, one of the people that are bringing their IP to the Majestic Comics, Sci-Fi, just dropped a new single. I think it's probably on all of the streaming service. It's called Simplistic, but you can find it on Bandcamp and all of that shit as well. Word. Go check that out. Just so you know, Graydon has been working on some new music as well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure he'll give you more information on that once he's finished cooking that up in the pot. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that's it. Oh, and my wife does groom small pets with her new business and shit. So
absolutely,
if you are in the Maryland area and you need a grooming for your rabbit or your ferret or your hamster or your guinea pig or something like that, yeah, go check her out. But anyway, for my man SPJ, I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out.